Completely done, Meg. Another swoosh at that one outside off stump. Well bowled, Sophie Munro, one without loss after 3 balls in this first over.
Well, she's just found her length, hasn't she? The last couple of balls started off a bit leg side with the wide as well, but certainly on that occasion she had Austin playing.
Here she comes again, Sophie Munro charging in, bowls a little bit fuller this time, but again draws the edge, oh, and the finger's gone up, and that's an early wicket for Essex and Sophie Munro. Meg Austin all ends up the couple of balls before, and she's had another wafty drive, and a faint edge through to the wicket keeper means Essex strike early. Warwickshire 1 for 1 in the first over.
Well, you can't say with those previous 2 deliveries that wasn't coming for Sophie Munro. She found the line, she had Austin playing, and after the previous 2 deliveries where she'd had the waft and had just managed to not edge it on that occasion, she goes for it again, gets the edge, and she has to depart. Early breakthrough for Essex.
Just a little bit fuller that delivery. The last 2 were slightly back of a length, and she just enticed Meg Austin there. She couldn't help herself, went for a big flashy drive through the covers, and a little bit of swing, a shape away, draws the edge, and that's very well bowled. Sophie Munro continuing a good form from the One Day Cup. And who have we got coming in next? It's going to be Nat Wraith.
Well, we hadn't even talked about the decision for Essex to bowl, having won the toss, but if they can continue in this vein, they'll certainly have made the best decision.
Ooh, as our effects mic's just been caught up in the closing window. A little bit of a breeze here at Chelmsford, in case you heard a slamming of a window there. Nick Gledhill at the back of the commentary box is coming to the rescue. As, oh no, looks like it's actually Georgia Redmayne in at 3.
Vastly experienced Australian. Warwickshire will be looking to her to try and get this innings going.
Left-hander, so slight change of field from Essex. Slip has come out. So here comes Sophie Munro again, bowling to Redmayne. That's just worked neatly through the square leg region, and they're going to take a single. So off the mark straight away, Georgia Redmayne. Coached by Adam Gilchrist's father when she was growing up, so can't get much better than that.
I saw a bit of Georgia Redmayne in the 100 last year. She's played WBBL as well, vastly experienced in the shorter format of the game. She's been around a long time.
Abby Freeborn, the right-hander, is now going to face her first ball of this innings. Munro comes in again, back of a length, straight, and worked well, uncomfortably. Uncomfortable looking shot there from Abby Freeborn, just nudges it to mid-wicket, no run. That ends a very successful first over for Essex and Sophie Munro. The wicket of Meg Austin, who departs for naught, and the Warwickshire find themselves 2 for 1, the perfect start for the home team.
So Essex turning to Eva Gray to open from the Sir Alistair Cook end of the pitch. Another impressive bowler for Essex, having come over from the former, what do we call it? The Sunrisers.
There we go.
No, I was trying to think of what the word would be. The former lineup of, or the former. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sunrisers before, now Essex. Eva Gray, part of both of those lineups, and she was part of the PCA Team of the Year as well last year for her performances with the ball.
She enjoyed a winter down under as well, didn't she?
A few of the Essex team going to play their cricket elsewhere over the winter. She'll be bowling at Georgia Redmayne, the left-hander. Number 10 on her back, in comes Gray, and that's a bit more width in that one. She's looking to drive, it's well stopped for Essex. In the field, Flo Miller doing the fielding just inside the ring, or coming into the ring to do the fielding.
Got 2 fielders out on the fence, both on the leg side. Got a fine leg and a deep backward square.
Gray in over the wicket, and that's gone down the leg side, and it's well taken by Amara Khan diving down to her left.
Yeah, Georgia Redmayne scored a century in her first innings in English cricket for Worcestershire back in 2012, and she was never really broken into the Australian national team because you got Alicia Healy there taking that spot. And she thought about retiring from cricket.
As Gray is in, Redmayne is driving into the leg side. It's picked up by McGregor. Essex just look really alert and lively in the field at the moment. They're all closing in and noisy, lots of encouragement.
They had a very lively warm-up in front of us, didn't they? Just before the start of the game. Playing a game I've never really seen before with a beach ball.
Volleyball.
Not quite.
As Gray is in to Redmayne, who plays that one back towards the bowler. Dot ball.
But I don't know if you can call it volleyball because Joe Gardner was kicking it every time it came near her. So sort of like a one bounce, one touch. But you can use your hand. You can use any part of your body by the looks of things. Quite a good laugh.
Something like I never played it, but korfball. That was a bit of a mix of being able to do both. I seem to recall. As Gray is in, width on that one, through the covers and away for the first boundary of the innings from Georgia Redmayne. She got hold of that one and she's driven it all the way to the boundary, 6 for 1.
That's a lovely shot there. Positive intent, use of the feet, just skipping down the track. Eva Gray just delivered it in the slot. Redmayne just threw her hands at it, pierced the infield, raced away to the boundary. Glorious strike.
She moves to 5. Having come in early after the wicket of Meg Austin at the top of the order, caught behind off the bowling of Sophie Monroe in the first over. We're into the second, and Eva Gray is on her way in to Redmayne, who flashes at that one, trying to turn it down to fine leg. It's well parried on the edge of the ring, so they'll be able to come back for 2, but Essex have stopped the boundary. 8 for 1, the score moves on to at the end of the second over.
Speaking of parried, Essex have been parried, haven't they? Stephen Parry coming in as the new head coach. I think he'll be very impressed with this start. And Essex, well, they picked up a bit of momentum in the One Day Cup, didn't they? Went 3 wins on the trot. And they finished 7th in this competition last season. They'll be really hoping they can push on and do a bit better this time around. First season as a Tier 1 professional team last year was always going to be tough. It's about finding your feet. Now it feels like the players have just got that little bit more experience and they come together well as a group.
Yeah, it was good to see them get those 3 wins in a row in the One Day Cup, and then just that defeat at Surrey before the break for the T20 Blast. But be interesting to see how they get on this year in this competition.
Here's Sophie Monroe bowling to Abby Freeborn. Quite an inventive shot there, looking for the little scoop, and she turns it round the corner nicely. That's fielded by Esme McGregor at fine leg. Keeps it to 1.
Last season they were boosted in the T20 by the addition of Lauren Winfield Hill, came on loan from Yorkshire and scored a huge amount of runs for Essex. Also Maddie Penner overseas, she's with Lancashire for this season, so it'll be interesting to see who steps up for Essex. But Esme McGregor with the ball had a fantastic T20 campaign.
Here's Monroe again, bowling to Redmayne. That's down leg side and that's going to be called wide by the umpire. Still a little bit of shape there for Sophie Monroe, so she's extracting movement early doors, which you wouldn't expect in these conditions really, but just a little bit wayward there. Yeah, as you say, Lauren Winfield Hill was so important for Essex last season in this competition. She was their top scorer, and then Maddie Penner was the top scorer with the bat, so they'll have to find ways of replacing those lost runs. Here comes Monroe again, and again Georgia Redmayne advances, takes a step down the track and plays it out to point, but it's fielded well by McGregor, no run.
Now the crowd's going to get even busier the later we go on this Friday afternoon, but good to see lots of people populating just outside the pavilion. Got a few people enjoying the sunshine to our right. We've got some school children, I think, away to our left as well in their fluorescent jackets watching on.
These double headers are great, aren't they? Because you can just sort of come down early, settle in.
Spend a whole day here watching 2 cricket matches.
A whole day at the county ground. Imagine that. Here comes Monroe. 3rd ball of the over, bowling to Redmayne. Redmayne advances down the track again. They're going to have a quick single here. It's pushed up to mid-off and that's slightly misfielded. I think Joe Garner there just fumbles and they can hurry through for a quick single. So the score moves on to 11. Loss of 1 wicket. Abby Freeborn is coming back on strike. You've been eyeing up the ice cream van, Victoria. I saw it drive past just before we started.
Well, are you buying?
Wouldn't have thought so. Abby Freeborn just scratches her mark again. There's a little wanders to the leg side and then sets herself as here comes Munro. Bowls full. Played into the covers and they're going to come through for a quick single. Throw from the fielder is slightly off target. Doesn't allow them to take a quick run. What would your ice cream of choice be? If I was, let's say in a hypothetical world, I was paying.
Oh, a 99, but I don't think they're 99 anymore, are they?
Oh, I think I went to Brighton not long ago and paid about a £5.
Got to have the flake as well.
You've got to have the flake.
I don't actually like a cone.
Really? Munro again, that's full and that's played up towards mid-on and it's well fielded. And it's kept to a single. If that had pierced the infield, that would have gone racing away to the boundary. You don't like a cone? Why is that?
Just not a fan. I'd rather have a tub, a bit more ice cream, less waste.
Fair enough, economical. What about those cones where you get a bit of solid chocolate at the bottom? They're quite nice. It just sort of keeps you going,
it's a
doesn't
lot
it?
of work to get to it though, isn't it?
Too much work, okay. Fair enough. Munro with a final ball of the over. To Freeborn, that's short and that's pulled and that's going to race away for 4. That's a firm stroke through mid-wicket from Abby Freeborn. That was just banged in halfway down with no real pace and that was far too easy for the Warwickshire opener. And that's her first boundary of the innings. Warwickshire on to 17 for the loss of 1 wicket. Meg Austin, the batter, to fall for 0. 3 overs gone.
Yeah, Warwickshire just recovering from that early blow and finding a bit of rhythm, finding a couple of boundaries just to move themselves along. And Essex going to make a change with the bowling already.
Looks like it. I think it could be their talisman from last year, Esme McGregor. 21 wickets she picked up, the second most in the whole Vitality Blast. And she hasn't had much of a run in the One Day Cup, but this is really her speciality.
We've seen a bit of rotation in the Essex bowling attack. They've often been able to name a 15-player squad, bar Jodie Crucock's absence through being involved with England in the one-day internationals. They have changed things around as McGregor is in. Coming down the track is Redmayne, but she's pushed it back to the bowler, who is on the ground and stopping it.
She's in a hurry, Georgia Redmayne, isn't she? Very keen to dance down the wicket. But Essex are bowling and fielding well at the moment, maybe just frustrating her a tad.
Yeah, Redmayne's on 9, Warwickshire 17 for 1. As McGregor begins her run up away from us, and that's missed. It's taken an inside edge, and that's a streaky boundary. No, it will just be cut off on the rope for Essex as Redmayne comes back for 2. It wasn't a convincing shot. It almost snuck its way through to the boundary, but again, alert fielding from Essex means they prevent the 4, 19 for 1.
Yeah, she just lost her shape a bit there. Got to the pitch of the ball, but lifted her head at the last moment, hence the thick inside edge.
McGregor over the wicket, fuller delivery, which is volleyed away towards the boundary. It was a attempted stop on the rope, but it's been spilled over out there in the deep. And that is a boundary on that occasion. Just trying to...
I think it's Cordelia Griffith who made the valiant dive on the rope. That was struck with such force. Didn't have much of a chance there. But a bit of a freebie from Esme McGregor. A big full toss on leg stump. See you later.
McGregor bowls, and this one is turned down towards fine leg. More convincing shot on this occasion by Redmayne, and she evades the fielder, so it's back-to-back 4s for Georgia Redmayne of Warwickshire to move herself on to 15 and 19, and Warwickshire on to 27 for 1. And there's a discussion taking place between McGregor and captain Grace Scrivens, just to maybe find the right ball.
Well, she had the fielder in place at fine leg, but that was just timed so perfectly from Georgia Redmayne, and she got it so fine. It was quite impressive. Quick wrist, and it just raced away to the fence. And yeah, they're just shuffling the fielders on the rope round a tad, but Esme McGregor wants to get away from Redmayne's leg stump if she can.
In she comes, Redmayne, who's had most of the strike, just thumps that one into the leg side. It dribbles along the ground. They're able to come through for the single, and so that moves Redmayne on to 20 and Warwickshire on to 28 for 1. It brings Freeborn on to strike. She's faced just 4 deliveries so far. She's really been watching the action unfold at the non-striker's end.
It's interesting that McGregor's choosing to come over the wickets to the left-handed Redmayne. That's something we see quite often in the game these days, whereas in years gone by, right-handed bowlers would often come around the wicket to the left-hander. But McGregor might want to think about switching that up if she keeps bowling on leg stump.
She's on her way into Freeborn. She's hit that in the air. It will bounce just inside the ring, and then it'll be chased by Miller to the boundary. Has it gone off pace on it? Yes, it has. It goes away for 4 runs. Well, initially it was an uppish shot into the leg side, and it's got past the Essex fielder and away for 4.
Wasn't a bad delivery though. She back of a length just outside off stump, and quite a streaky boundary in truth. Freeborn just threw her hands at it and it found the gap. But that's much better from McGregor, that last delivery of her over, giving herself a chance to take a wicket. And I wonder now, will we see Sophie Munro continue, or is there going to be another change? Sophia Schmale seems to be hovering around the umpire, yep, and she's been tossed the ball by her skipper Grace Scrivens. So we're going to see spin for the first time at Chelmsford this afternoon. Sophia Schmale, 21 years old, from Newport in Wales, and she's bowled very nicely in the One Day Cup this season so far for Essex.
Batted well as well.
Batted well as well, yep. She's got 151 runs, 9 wickets, so a proper all-rounder. Here she comes, bowling to Redmayne. First ball, that's a full toss, and it's just worked on the sort of the paddle sweep round the corner by Redmayne for a single. Abby Freeborn takes her guard again. To the left arm spin of Sophia Schmale. Back to right-handed though, doesn't she?
Former guise was the word I was looking for earlier.
Former guise?
Like, as in, the Sunrisers were the former guise of Essex.
Yeah. That's very impressive. Guise.
Yeah, something like that, I think was what I was trying to,
good word.
to get across.
I need to show off. So Schmale's just tweaking the field. Bowls to Freeborn, and it's played back to her. And Freeborn just stepping away there, showing all 3 stumps and looking to smack it through the offside. Didn't connect cleanly. Well bowled Sophia Schmale. Here she comes again, getting through her over, and that's hoiked through cow corner, and that's going to run away to the fence. Just cleared her front leg there, Abby Freeborn, and slapped it through the leg side and gets 4 runs. I don't think Sophia Schmale will mind that too much.
No, it's a fairly tight start to the over, and sometimes as a spinner you have to take that odd boundary to get your reward, but let's see if she can do so.
Yeah, she gave that a bit of air, gave it a chance to turn. Here she comes again, looking for a response. Bowls outside off stump, and that's played really nicely, gloriously timed through the point region by Abby Freeborn. So back-to-back boundaries for the Bears batter. She's racing along it, up to 18 now, and Warwickshire 41 for 1.
Yeah, played straight to the boundary in front of the pavilion. Obviously shorter boundary for the T20 blast. We see the seats outside the pavilion come onto what would traditionally be the part of the pitch. Those yellow and blue seats, they're so synonymous, aren't they, with Essex in the T20 blast here at Chelmsford.
Here's Schmale again to Freeborn. Oh, she just fires that one in, Yorker length, and Freeborn does well to dig that out, and even better to scamper through for a quick single. That's great batting. Good cricket all round, really. So she's already gone for 10 from this over, Sophia Schmale. Should be looking to close out with a wicket. Bowling to the left-handed Georgia Redmayne. She's just readjusting her field slightly. Schmail. In and bowls. And Redmayne gets down for the sweep. I'm not sure she gets anything on that. This might be called wide by the umpire. They come through for a single as Marakar can't gather clean. No, it's given us leg byes. So that's the end of the over. 11 runs coming from it. Warwickshire 43 for 1. And they've done well to claw things back after losing a wicket in the first over. Meg Austin going for 0. 1 over left in the power play. Quite well set, I'd say.
Yeah, I think after that early wicket, they'll be pleased with the recovery that they've made, will Warwickshire. And I think we're going to see the return of Eva Gray to bowl from this Alistair Cook end.
Yeah, another player who's had an excellent season in the One Day Cup. 11 wickets for Eva Gray. She took 15 wickets in the Blast last season. She was Essex's best bowler. Marakar's up to the stumps.
In comes Gray to Redmayne, who defends that one into the offside. Dot ball to start the over.
It's a good attacking move from Essex, bringing the keeper up. Redmayne's been looking to come out of her crease almost every ball. And that option is pretty much taken away from her with the keeper standing up.
Gray over the wicket, and that one's gone down leg side. It's been signalled as a wide as they come through for the single. So a couple added to the total. 45 for 1.
Do you think a par score would be here? Sunny day at Chelmsford.
It's difficult to tell on the first one of the season, but certainly seen the ball race along to the boundary, haven't we, when the batter's got enough on it. As Gray is in, Freeborn is driving, but only as far as McGregor, who's inside the ring, dot ball. And then we're watching the square slightly away to our left-hand sides. Most of the matches that we've seen so far this season have been sort of directly in front of us from the commentary position, but we're just a bit more at an angle. Probably down at third, really, aren't we, if the bowling was at this end, as that's lofted over the ring by Freeborn. They'll come back for a couple as it's chased just out of our view, and we wait to see whether they've kept that in. They'll be able to come back for 3, but it's a good effort from Joe Gardner and Jodie Grucock, who just high-five because they've managed to stop that one going for 4, 48 for 1.
It wasn't really timed, that. It was a bit of a hoik through cow corner. That seems to be her preferred scoring region, Abby Freeborn, but she's got away with it, gave it everything, just picked up 3 runs, and now she's, well, after not facing many balls in the first few overs, she's raced on to 22 from just 11, so she's striking at 200.
As Gray is in, and that one's up in the air from Redmayne. It will drop and then roll along the ground to Griffith, who's out in the deep on the leg side. And they take the single. Redmayne on to 22 and Warwickshire 49 for 1.
Does look like, just from these opening passages of the match, does look like a good wicket. Tinge of green on it. We saw some early shape up front from Sophie Munro in particular, but it's clearly coming onto the back quite nicely, and this outfield is lightning fast. She just alluded to Victoria. So plenty in it for both batters and bowlers.
Gray is on her way in over the wicket, and that one is slashed towards the boundary, and it's gone for 4.
It's a lovely stroke. Freeborn again backing away, giving herself a bit of room, and just freeing her hands through the offside. And she timed the socks off that, didn't she?
Yeah, I was just trying to peer around the corner to see if there was anyone out in the deep for Essex, but she's placed that well, found the gap, and found the boundary for 4 runs. So for a bit of context, it's rather warm, if we haven't mentioned it already, at Chelmsford. We're just sitting slightly further back to try and shield from the weather as Gray is in, and Freeborn turns that one into the leg side. They'll come through for the single at least, and that's all they'll get because Flo Miller is quick to it for Essex. Throws into Carr, end of the over, end of the 6th over, and Warwickshire are 54 for 1. Would you be happy with that power play, James?
I think, from an Essex point of view or from a Warwickshire point of view?
Well, if you were batting.
I think I'd be happy in the Warwickshire camp at the moment, especially given the fact they lost a wicket in the first over and it was all about rebuilding after that. But since then, Abby Freeborn in particular has just put a foot on the accelerator, hasn't she? And Georgia Redmayne's going along nicely at the other end, sort of playing the anchor role. She's 22 off 19. Freeborn's 27 off 13, and I think it's just one of those days when you get yourself in as a batter, sun's out, blue sky, good pitch, small boundaries of course here at Chelmsford, probably the smaller boundaries you're going to have on the circuit. You'd fancy yourself to go on and make a biggie. So we see another change of bowling. The skipper's seen enough. She's decided to bring herself into the attack from the Graham Gooch end. And she's allowed more fielders outside the ring. Already had our 6 overs, but still got most of them up inside. So here she comes, the spinner, right arm over the wicket, and that's just played up to long on. They're going to think about 2 here. Oh, and this is going to be really tight. This could be a run out. Oh, and Grace Scrivens has spilt it. There was miscommunication from the Warwickshire batters. Redmayne and Freeborn in no man's land. And Redmayne it was who would have been stranded. The throw came in to Scrivens at the bowler's end, and she spills it. Couldn't keep her composure. Flashbacks to Nathan Lyon in the Ashes in 2019. Maybe not as significant in the context of the game, but here's Scrivens again, and that's once more worked through to long on, just wide of long on. Had to scamper around a few paces, but they learnt from the previous ball and decided to just stick to a single.
Well, she certainly would have been run out there. I wonder if Grace Scrivens was just already thinking about getting that ball to stumps, and just that maybe split second of concentration just meant the ball spilled and the opportunity missed.
So you get a bit overexcited, don't you, when the batter is that far out. And then she comes around the wicket to the left-handed Redmayne. That's a full toss, and that is absolutely creamed through cow corner, and that's 4 runs. So Scrivens has offered up a real freebie there, and Redmayne has capitalised. She's on to 26 now. Bears going nicely.
Yeah, Essex could have really done with a wicket at that time. They could do with a wicket now just to break this partnership and the stem of runs.
How can she respond? Scrivens, so that's well bowled. Fuller this time, just outside off stump. Redmayne advances and drills that straight at fielder at short cover. Esme McGregor does well. Stops the run. So valuable dot ball. 7 runs from this Grace Scrivens over so far. 2 balls remaining. Here's the penultimate one. Again, Redmayne advances and works that away just wide of Esme McGregor at cover this time. Fielder Sphere Schmale out on the rope. Does the fielding. That's a single. Happy Freeborn still striking at 200, 30 off 15. Scrivens with her last ball of the over. She just fires that one in, and Freeborn gets down looking to sweep it round the corner. I think that's come off her pad. It has, as the umpire confirms. That will be leg byes. They run through for 1. So the end of the 7th over. Warwickshire up to 63 for 1. So they're going at exactly 9s.
Yeah, it's 2 very experienced batters, isn't it, at the crease for Warwickshire, who actually are without a few key players anyway, through injury, through availability. They're missing the likes of Davina Perrin, Katie George, Izzy Wong, all not involved for various reasons. But when you've got Georgia Redmayne, so experienced across the domestic game and across the continents, really, with what she's done in the WBBL and elsewhere, and also Abby Freeborn, who's been around the county circuit for a long time and in its sort of various forms over the years as well. So they are two very experienced batters at the crease that Essex will be looking to try and get rid of, and they're going to turn to Jodie Grucock to try and do that. Recently been away with England, got an ODI wicket on debut in the game against New Zealand. Not sure it was a classic, but she'll take it.
Oh, well, I saw a clip of it on the BBC Sport website, which described it as something like a horrible delivery gets a wicket. I thought,
harsh.
Very harsh.
Grucock comes in with the spin on the back foot. That's up in the air, and then it will drop safely just in front of Esme McGregor, who's diving in to try and rescue the ball. 64 for 1. Freeborn gets the single.
As I always remind people, it all looks the same in the scorebook. Wicket's a wicket. First international wicket, very proud moment.
An important wicket as well in what was a very tight game for England in that series, and actually after that the weather really hit, didn't it, and put paid to the contest as Grucock is in, and that's back at the bowler. Was that a chance? It came back at her so quickly from Georgia Redmayne, and Grucock just tries to juggle it, and it goes down to her right.
Initially I thought it was a bump ball, but watching it back on the screen on the replay, I don't think it was. I think that was a chance. Really did come back at her fast. She was disappointed though, Jodie Grucock.
64 for 1. As Redmayne waits, Grucock is in. She takes a couple of shuffles down the pitch. It's over the inner ring and towards the boundary. There's a diving stop on the edge. It's been pulled back in. Boundary prevented in the field for Essex, and they'll come through for a couple. Oh, we've been ice cold water being provided. Thank you very much.
Excellent service from Nick Ledhill.
Yeah.
Very kind.
66 for 1 as Grucock is in, and down on her knees is Georgia Redmayne, trying to paddle that one round the corner. Picks out the fielder in the leg side, and
I think she rather got away with that one.
yeah. Redmayne's on 30, Freeborn now on 31. She's overtaken Redmayne, having not really faced much of the strike when Redmayne first came to the crease in the first over. That was when Meg Austin was caught behind off the bowling of Sophie Monroe. And Grucock is into Freeborn, who slaps that one into the leg side. It's fielded at long on, and they'll just take the single. And they'll swap around for the left-right combination.
She's a big fan of that cow corner region, isn't she, Abby Freeborn? Bulk of her runs have come through there.
Grucock is into Redmayne, who comes down the pitch. He hasn't completely timed that all, and then there's a misfield from Sophia Simone that's going to run away to the boundary for 4 runs. It's just misjudged the bounce of that ball as it came towards her, and it trickles away to the boundary for 4 to ruin what was looking like a good first over from Jodie Grucock.
Yeah, Sophia Schmel will feel she should have done a lot better there, but I do respect the positive intent on the boundary. The ball was in the air for a long time and she raced towards it thinking she might be in with half a chance of taking a catch, but in the end she just misjudged it, and then it got too close to it as it bounced and just bobbled past her, went to the rope. But I think if you're a bowler and you're a captain, you'd always prefer your fielders take the aggressive option and try and get that wicket, especially when you're the opposition are 72 for 1. Scrivens is going to come out the attack, and she's thrown the ball back to her opener by the looks of things. Yep, Sophie Monroe is going to continue. She bowled 2 overs, 1 for 11 so far. Got the early breakthrough of Meg Austin. And now the Essex captain knows they need a wicket just to stem the flow of runs. Otherwise they're going to be chasing a big old score. So Monroe just brings the long on fielder inside the circle. Here she comes. Monroe in, bowling to Freeborn. Freeborn, or big top edge, as she looks to work it around the corner. She's going to get away with that though. Esme McGregor comes in from the deep square boundary on the leg side. Does the fielding, that's going to be a single. Well, when your luck's in, eh?
Yeah, it went high, didn't it? And actually, with the fielders out on the boundaries, there was quite a lot of ground for them to make up to in order to come in and try and attempt the catch. So in the end, it drops safe, and just a few field changes going on now for Essex.
When you're out of form, that shot goes straight into the hands of square leg. But when you're playing well, inevitably seems to land safe. It's Georgia Redmayne lines up Sophie Monroe. She's still going over the wickets, the left-hander. That's slightly back of a length and worked nicely through the cover region for a single. Schmale does the fielding. Georgia Redmayne, Doctor of Medicine from the University of New South Wales. So I think that's something she might be looking to pursue once she's finished her playing career. Go into sports medicine. Always good to have something to fall back on. Monroe to Freeborn. Freeborn mows it through the leg side once more. Doesn't connect cleanly, so it's just going to be a single. 75 for 1 now, Warwickshire.
It's always interesting, isn't it? There's a few of the Essex team I know have got their degrees under their belts or their other jobs at the same time.
Monroe again over the wicket to Redmayne. Redmayne waits for that and plays it off the back foot. Looked to come forward initially and then rock back and splayed it through the covers. That'll be another single. Yeah, Kate Kopak, lawyer.
Yeah, and I think last year when Esme McGregor was taking all the wickets for Essex in the T20, she was also doing her final university exams.
Loughborough University, was it?
Yeah, lots to concentrate on.
I've seen quite a few of the women's players have got degrees from Loughborough, but is the place to be. As that strikes Freeborn on the pad, muted appeals for LBW. I think it was going well down the leg side. But a precious dot ball. It's been a good over from Sophie Monroe, just 4 runs from it, 4 singles, and then a dot ball.
It's very good for sports, isn't it? Loughborough, I wouldn't know. Wasn't good enough of sport to go there, but as I understand it,
didn't think about it. You play netball. It's a quite good,
not
quite
to
a good
a
level.
Loughborough standard, I don't think.
Bit of character around these parts, aren't you? Monroe bowls, and that is played through the square leg, and they're going to come for a single. Bit of a hoik that from Freeborn. But she's playing her way, and it's working. She moves on to 36, and Warwickshire move on to 77 for 1. But that was a very good over from Sophie Monroe. No boundaries coming from it, so just stem the flow slightly. But Essex still have just the 1 wicket.
Yeah, it is wickets that Essex need, with Warwickshire having moved along to 77 for 1. Now, something they've worked on this season, but something they struggled with both in the 50 over and the T20 Blast campaign last year was the totals that they managed to make. They have managed to pass the 200 mark on a number of occasions this season in the 50 over and show that intent with the bat, and they'll be looking for similar in the T20, and particularly given what they could end up chasing here if they can't find the wicket to break this partnership. Sophia Smale will come back into the attack to try and do that. She's bowled 1, 0 for 10 so far.
I'm just watching the IPL this season. Going at 10 and overs is considered quite good these days.
It's the shorter format of the game for you, isn't it? It'll be Freeborn to face, 35 from 22. Schmale is in, and that one is played to Grucock, who parries it and then just has to chase after it as they come back for 2 and scamper through for that second. So Freeborn will keep the strike. 79 for 1.
Grucock did very well there, because that was absolutely nailed from Abby Freeborn. Grucock diving to her right, did well to get 2 hands to it.
Yeah, Grucock at mid-off as Smale is in, and that one is played more delicately out towards point. No run available.
Good this from Essex, just clawed it back. Not been a boundary for at least an over now.
Can they make the pressure count? Smale is in around the wicket. And that one is played out into the offside for no run.
Yorker length, there's always risk and reward when you're aiming for that, because if you get it slightly wrong, it's a full toss, or the other way, it's in the slot. But that was perfect.
Smale from the Alistair Cook end. She's in. That one's driven. It took a slight touch from the bowler, which might have just taken the pace out of it. And Joe Gardner could come round from long on to field it. Just the single added to the total for Warwickshire, 80 for 1.
She's a great fielder, Joe Gardner. Probably
Very
got the best
athletic.
arm in this Essex team. She really fires it in from the fence. Slight change in the field now for the left-handed Georgia Redmayne.
Redmayne on 36. As Smale is in, it's a couple of shuffles forward and then just played into the covers for no run.
Really good over, just the 3 from it, and this is exactly what Essex needed.
Smale in again, using her feet straight back at the bowler from Redmayne. She was looking to charge that one from Sophia Smale. She's played it straight back to the bowler, who made no mistake, and Essex have that much needed second wicket. Georgia Redmayne goes for 36 and Warwickshire 80 for 2.
Well, that's just pressure. That's what pressure does, isn't it? Sophia Smale, give it a bit of flight there. Redmayne came down the track as she's been doing all afternoon, and she middled it, but she middled it straight back to the bowler. And Sophia Smale, she did well to cling on there, just stretching to her right, and Essex needed that. They've stopped the flow of runs and got an important wicket, because Georgia Redmayne was well set there with all her experience. She could have been really dangerous if she was still there at the crease at the end. It's great, isn't it? You can hear the music in the background. It's T20s are back at Chelmsford.
Just makes me feel like summer is here. Although we'll probably be here in a couple of weeks and it'll be really cold again, and we'll be saying, oh, do you remember the first game of the T20 season when we had that really nice bank holiday weekend? I'm sure there's always one, isn't there, where it's a bit of a washout, but fingers crossed. This is a nice way to spend a Friday, just Friday at Chelmsford. You can't beat it, in my opinion. Might be biased.
Can you remember your first?
Yes, I can. I sat over by the Felsted stand. I was with my dad, my granddad and my uncle, I think. And I think it might have been a Essex Surrey sort of on a weekday evening, maybe in some kind of school holiday. Can't remember the score or much about the game, but I just remember coming.
What year was that? Don't mind me asking.
Not sure. 1990, no. Not sure, but yeah, then a lot of time spent watching the festival down at Castle Park as well.
It's such a shame they can't do that anymore. It's Jodie Grucock with a change of ends, bowling from the Graham Gooch end. That's very full and that's swept, but swept to the fielder on the 45 on the leg side, and they're going to hurry through for a very quick single. That was looking tight, but it did well to make it. So still the wait for a boundary goes on. And Charis Pavley is the new batter. Leading run scorer in the One Day Cup. She's got 466 runs, an average of 78. High score of 128 not out, so she's in excellent form. So one good batter departs, another comes to the crease. Warwickshire, of course, already beaten Essex in the One Day Cup, won by 5 wickets towards the start of the season. Essex be looking to get their revenge. Here's Jodie Grucock, comes around the wicket, drags that down short, and she might have got away with that. She has. Cordelia Griffith is going to sweep up, and they're going to hurry back for 2 here. Decent throw, just not quite enough power on it, allows them to come back for the second run. That was a real drag down the leg side from Jodie Grucock, but limited damage, just 2 runs. Warwickshire go on to 83 for 2. Can you remember who was captain when you came to watch your first 2020?
I imagine it might have been a Mark Pettini.
Mark Pettini. God, I used to love watching him open the batting with his Warsock Marlin bat. It inspired me to get one of those. Just used to love watching him. He just had a great pick-up shot off his pads. And he used to just stand there and flick the ball towards the pavilion, and I'd just be sat in the Tom Pearce upper going, oh my gosh, how's he done that? As we just see a little stoppage in play here. Batter's just having maybe some fluids run onto the pitch, or was there a slight injury concern? Quite hard to tell from up here. Pavely's got her gloves off. Something she wasn't happy with.
Yeah, she was named, wasn't she, as cover for the T20 International Series with Nat Siva-Brunt out. We had a change of bowling.
Looks like we've had a change of bowling, so maybe it was actually for Jodie Grucock, who she might have hurt her hand doing that piece of fielding a couple of overs ago. Or was it last over, in fact? I was really smacked back at her, but it looks like the skipper, Grace Scrivens, is going to bowl the last 4 balls of this over. Yeah, and she starts nicely with a dot there. Left-handed Pavely, just working that to mid-wicket, no run. Hopefully, well, Essex and England fans probably be hoping that there's nothing too serious for Jodie Grucock. Scrivens again around the wicket, bowls, just fires it in, slightly back of a length, works around the corner for a single.
Well, certainly for Essex, with the 346 runs that Jodie Grucock has scored so far this season, they'll be hoping that whatever the reason is that she hasn't been able to continue this over isn't going to be affecting the batting.
Yeah, hopefully just a precaution, but Scrivens has done well closing out the over so far. There's just been the 4 runs from it. She bowls again on that, strikes. Free ball on the pad as she gets down for a sweep, but that's heading down the leg side. So Scrivens doesn't even think about appealing. It's well bowled. She's just firing them through at the moment. The Essex captain, and she's just playing about with her field slightly. Moving a fielder to the edge of the ring. Wide mid-on. Scrivens then with the last ball of the over. That's outside off stump. Back of a length. Cut into the offside. The fielder on the point fence hurries in and does the fielding. Keeps it down to 1. Was that Lissy McLeod out there? And the end of the over, which was bowled by 2 different bowlers. Jodie Grucock bowling the first 2 balls and then clearly having some troubles with her fingers, having to stop and chuck the ball to her skipper, Grace Scrivens.
Yeah, I can just see as well Kate Kopak out on the field now for Essex, coming in place of Jodie Grucock, who's presumably gone to get assessed or have a quick look at whatever the problem might be.
Sophia Schmale, so spin from both ends. Sophia Schmale going to continue from the Sir Alistair Cook end.
85 for 2. Freeborn's on 40 and she'll face. Smale with the wicket in her previous over. Smale is in and Freeborn lofts that back over the bowler's head fairly straight. Gardner comes round from long on. Is this a chance for a run out? No, they've made it home and they've got the 2 runs, but it was good fielding again from Essex, getting the ball in quickly and putting some pressure on the Warwickshire batters.
It's been good cricket all round this afternoon. I think the batters have done well. They've run well between the wickets, other than that one near run out where Grace Scrivens fumbled.
As Smale is in, that one is driven along the ground, and again Gardner's called into action from long on to come round and do the fielding. Just a single on that occasion. So Freeborn moves off strike. She is on 43. Warwickshire on 88 for 2, and Pavely will face. She's highly regarded as Pavely, was part of the England under-19 squad in 2023, and as mentioned, she's previously been called up to the T20 squad on the odd occasion, and now as cover with those injuries. Big summer, isn't it, for T20 cricket, and the Women's World Cup coming to England. Be hugely exciting to see how they get on and just to have that international cricket on the doorstep.
And you'll be there?
I will, yes. Looking forward to getting involved in that. Smale is in, and that one is played uppishly back past the bowler. Just very single. To make it clear, I'm not playing.
Really? Well, as I've said before, I think you do yourself a disservice. You're better than you give yourself credit for, Victoria. I've seen you bowl a few balls.
Now I'll be much happier behind the mic watching the action as Smale is in to Freeborn, and that one's through to Cart.
Just a bit of lift off the surface there.
And a bit of movement from this end for Smale, who's into Freeborn, who drives at that one past the diving Smale. Out towards the long off boundary, but there's a fielder placed in the deep, and they move on to 90 for 2. Freeborn's now on to 44. In comes Smale to Paverley, who slaps that one into the leg side, and they take the single. So no boundaries from it for Sophia Smale. 91 for 2 on the board. We have had 12 overs.
Well, I think considering how things were looking when Georgia Redmayne and Abby Freeborn were in together, Essex have done remarkably well to claw it back and stem the flow of runs. 91 for 2. So, wow, just under 8 and over. About 7.5 and over. I think Essex will feel quite happy with that, especially if they can go bang bang, pick up 2 quick wickets. There seems to be some sort of conference going on.
Well, I think the good news is that Jodie Grucock is back out on the pitch.
Okay, so only a very short spell back in the pavilion, maybe getting a bit of treatment on her hand, but she's not going to bowl. It looks like it's going to be Eva Gray with a change of ends. She's bowled 2 overs so far, none for 17. And Charis Paverley is going to be on strike. Which
Jodie Grucock's maybe got a bit of strapping or something. She's unless she's still in pain, but she's back out on the pitch holding her hand.
Well, it's good to see, maybe giving her some of that magic spray. Seems to be the answer for all sorts of knocks and scrapes. The fielder just goes out to the boundary at backward point, just in front of square. Here comes Eva Gray bowling, and that is mowed. Oh, but it's mowed straight to the fielder at long on, who holds the catch. Jo Gardner, I think it might be out there, who does well, sets herself and hangs on, and Essex have a 3rd wicket. It's Charis Paverley, the batter, to go. And Warwickshire 91 for 3 now.
Yeah, you're right. It's Jo Gardner in the deep who holds on to that catch. It was hit uppishly by Paverley, and maybe they've got away with a few on occasion and just managed to pick the gap with those shots previously, but on that occasion into the hands of Jo Gardner, Essex pick up a 3rd wicket.
Well, it made a great sound off the bat. I thought that could be sailing over the rope for 6, but it's quite a hit out there, and Jo Gardner just moving round to her left was able to pouch it, had time to set herself. Not always easy, we've got the white ball coming out of this clear blue sky with the sun shining as well. But Gardner probably considered the best, if not one of the best fielders in this Essex side. I think the bowler would have been relieved to see her underneath that. And Eva Gray is off the mark in the wickets column in this year's T20 Blast. Go along with the 11 wickets she's already got in the One Day Cup. 3 wickets down are the Bears. Abby Freeborn, the opener, still there and going well. She's been joined out in the middle by Chloe Brewer, number 2 on her back, the 23-year-old right-hander. Had a bit of a frustrating year last season with quite a bad hamstring injury. But she's back and she's got a chance now. She's got the best part of 8 overs to try and have an impact on this game. She just goes through a few stretches. And Mara Carr is stood up to the stumps, and Eva Gray is coming over the wicket. So Brewer's first ball, and that's leading edge, that's straight up in the air, that should be out, that is out. Sophia Schmel's under it, makes no mistake. It's an easy catch, and it's a golden duck for Chloe Brewer. Eva Gray finds herself on a hat-trick, and all of a sudden Warwickshire are 91 for 4.
Yeah, really good from Essex here, that they're finding those wickets that had been looking difficult and tricky to find a little bit earlier on with the partnership between Freeborn and between Redmayne, but couple, well, 2 in 2 for Eva Gray, and things could really turn in Essex's favour.
All of a sudden 91 for 2, which should say the batters are probably on top. 2 wickets in the space of 2 balls from Eva Gray. It's 91 for 4, and the whole complexion of the game seems to have changed just in an instant. And well, Eva Gray, she's often Essex's go-to bowler, and she's done it again. Well, not the best shot in the world, but I think it's just held in the pitch slightly. And yeah, no real pace. And as I'm watching the replay, Chloe Brewer just too early playing that shot, trying to work it through mid-wicket, leading edge straight up in the air, and Sophia Schmel at point makes no mistake. I think the new batter to face the dreaded hat-trick ball is Nat Wraith. She's got number 73 on her back. Wicket-keeper batter. Here comes Eva Gray on a hat-trick. Bowling to Wraith, who plays that nicely. A clean cover drive. Cordelia Griffith dives to her right and does the fielding, so no hat-trick, but still a dot. Still an excellent start to the over for Eva Gray.
Yeah, Nat Wraith still only 24, but she's had a lot of experience. She's been around the county game for around 10 years or so now.
Gray again to Wraith. That's down the leg side. That's well taken by Mara Carr. Really stretching dive to her left. It's a wide ball. So Eva Gray finally concedes a run in this over. And Nat Wraith made her county debut for Sussex against Essex 5 years ago, 2021. And she's facing Eva Gray now. Oh, and that's a play and a miss outside the off stump, full length. And well, Wraith, sorry, just stepping to the leg side and looking to play it through the covers. A bit of a wafty drive. Does well not to nick that through to Mara Carr. Gray charging in again to Wraith, who works that round the corner. She's going to get off the mark here. A shout for 2. She's going to come back as it's fielded. That moves the score on to 94 for 4. That Wraith is up and running.
Yeah, saw her playing for Trent Rockets in the 100 last year. She's been part of that setup for a couple of years, although of course for many players it's all change ahead of that competition this time round.
Eva Gray again bowls. That's short of a length, and Wraith looks to hoik it through mid-wicket, but she doesn't collect cleanly, and they rush through for 2 runs. Good throw at the stumps by Jo Gardner, but they made it back in time. And that's the end of the over. Very good over, which brought 2 wickets for Eva Gray. And Warwickshire on to 96 for 4 with 7 overs left. Who's on top here, Victoria?
I think Warwickshire will feel they're still maybe just edging it, but those couple of wickets quickly for Essex will have given them more confidence, and if they can do something similar in quick succession again, they will feel they can limit the total that the Warwickshire women will make. Esme McGregor back into the attack for Essex. We just saw that 1 over from her early on, 0 for 15. Just struggled to find her rhythm a bit in that over, but she can be dangerous for Essex if she can find her line and length. She'll be bowling to Freeborn, who's been watching it all go on around her really. She's down on 1 knee and sweeping it round the corner, and she sweeps it for 4 runs. So that's the 100 up for Warwickshire. And Abby Freeborn moves on to 48.
There was a slow ball from Esme McGregor. It looked like it was out the back of the hand, and that was looking like it was going to clatter into the middle stump, but Abby Freeborn just waited for it, picked it early, and worked it nicely around the corner. Excellent timing. She's batted very well for the most part this afternoon, Abby Freeborn.
McGregor turns on a mark and she is in, and that's in the air from Freeborn. It will bounce a couple of times in front of the fielder, and there will come through for a single. I think we might be joined by Danny Warren, part of the Essex women's setup, on commentary in a moment. So we'll have our own change.
Yeah, I'll make way for Danny at the end of the over and see what she makes of the game. Probably a lot happier than she might have been 5 minutes ago. It's interesting watching Esme McGregor. She's got a towel hanging out the back of her trousers, which is something you don't usually only see when it's raining, so I'm not sure what that's for.
McGregor is in, and Wraith takes a flash at that one, misses through to Carr behind the stumps for no run.
Good wicket keeping that. Always lose sight of it when the batter flashes outside off stump. And just being the fact that Mara Carr has stood up just puts that extra bit of pressure on the new batter, Nat Wraith.
We've had a 4 single and a dot ball so far as McGregor is into Wraith, who's hit that one up in the air. Carr is chasing it. She won't quite get there. It will bounce. And they'll come through for the single opportunity there for Essex, James.
Oh, desperately unlucky. Head in your hands if you're Esme McGregor. It's could have gone anywhere, could have gone to anyone, but it was just in the gap, and Mara Carr was sprinting after it. Fell agonisingly in front of her. That's well bowled by Esme McGregor. She looks like she's just taken the pace off it in this over, which I think is a smart move. And yeah, that Wraith was just far too early through the shot on that occasion.
So they did get the single. Wraith moves on to 5. Freeborn, 1 away from 50 as McGregor is in. That's down the ground. Will it be cut off by Gardner? It will. They'll come back for 2, and that will be a half century for Abby Freeborn, who has made her 50 from 36 balls with Warwickshire 104 for 4.
Yeah, and she's played very nicely, and she deserves that little ripple of applause you might have just heard there, because she's been aggressive from the get-go. She's really set the tone for Warwickshire, ridden the luck at times, but those who dare usually win. Excellent half century.
Yeah, she's stuck around for Warwickshire as McGregor is into Freeborn, who whips that one into the leg side. It's fielded around the mid-wicket, and at the end of the over, Warwickshire 105 for 4. Freeborn is on 52. Wraith is on 5, and so James will be back with us later on. Don't forget, we've got commentary of not just this women's game for you on the BBC Sport website and app, but also later on we'll have Essex men taking on Sussex in their first T20 blast match of the season. I'm Victoria Polly from BBC Essex, and that was James Patient alongside me, and we're going to be joined by the Essex Women Performance and Growth Director, Danny Warren, on commentary as Jodie Grucock comes back into the attack for Essex, and hopefully any kind of scare about an injury to their hand is over for now. Good afternoon to you, Danny.
Afternoon, Victoria. Again, it's a brilliant view up here, isn't it?
It's very warm.
It is.
Prepared.
It's got a nice little breeze coming through.
As Grucock is in, and Freeborn just turns that one round the corner, and she'll turn it with pace all the way to the boundary, just wide of fine leg. What have you made so far of the performance for Essex?
Yeah, it's funny how games change so quickly, isn't it? In the space of, well, my walk around the ground, we went from obviously a great start with the ball. Sophie Munro again picking up early wickets in the power play, which has been her forte this season, and a real bonus for us as Essex to that partnership between Redmayne and Freeborn to 3 quick wickets, and now I guess it's who blinks first now, isn't it?
In comes Grucock to Freeborn, who tries to play that one round the corner, and there's a bit of a miscommunication. Is there a run out for Essex? Yes, it's given. Well, there was an appeal for the strike on the pad, then the batters got themselves all confused, and Essex were able to capitalise with the run out, and the wicket goes down Warwickshire 109 for 5.
A bit of everything. And saying who blinks first, I have a feeling Warwickshire might have blinked there because, yeah, the pressure to try and rotate the strike and get up to that's probably 170 plus score that they're hopefully wanting to put on the board led to a little bit of miscommunication. And I imagine Jodie Grucock's mind had there, please don't throw this in too hard, please don't throw this in too hard. You know, after you've gone off with a finger injury, you're thinking don't hit one back at me too quickly. So yeah, she had a little bit of time there, the presence to get closer to the stumps and knock them down. But yeah, again, another wicket. It keeps the pressure on, keeps the new batters coming in. Obviously Abby Freeborn being the set batter, she's played phenomenally well, hasn't she? She scored all around the park, as we just saw with her reverse sweep just now that raced away to the boundary. She can be pretty destructive, as can Mary Taylor, who in recent weeks has helped win a couple of games for Warwickshire further down the order.
Yeah, so Mary Taylor, the first of the two Taylors in this Warwickshire side in. But she'll be at the non-strikers end to start with because it's still Freeborn to face as Grucock is in. That is in the air, lofted over the bowler and away for 4 runs. A straight drive from Abby Freeborn, who, having passed her half-century, is still eyeing those boundaries. And that will be the key wicket that Essex will now be searching for.
Yeah, you want to try and fight that balance, don't you, between trying to take her wicket but also make sure she's not on strike, because you've seen how dangerous she can be.
113 for 5 as Grucock is in. It's missed by Freeborn. Strikes are on the pad. They'll come through for a leg bite. 114 for 5. I guess you haven't seen Jodie Grucock. You didn't see the finger injury at all?
No, to be honest, I was walking round, and it was only when I came round the buck of the Tom Pearce stand I actually saw her walking off. So I missed the incident where she got hit. She was bowling, and yeah, it flooded back in my mind, and I'm sure in everyone else's mind, to that opening day game at Hampshire when she went off injured.
As Grucock is in now and on the back foot defending is Taylor.
She's a tough cookie, and seeing her back out on the field, not shying away from taking the ball in her hand and getting out there. Obviously the physios have done what they need to do, and she'll be desperate to make an impact on this game now.
Just a change in the field as McGregor comes to the 45 on the back foot. Taylor is trying to swipe that one away. She's missed it, but they've managed to come through for, what's he given there, a bite?
Yeah, went through everyone there, slightly leggish, big swing, big miss, and just rolled away. So again, like, what have we got now? We've got five overs left, 115 for 5. It's really in the balance here, isn't it?
Yeah, what did you think of the decision for Essex to bowl, win the toss? They happy chasing down the target?
Yeah, everything goes through your mind and goes into the decisions. The pitch, probably, if it was going to have anything in it for a bowling perspective, was likely to be in the first innings of 4 today. It stayed under covers, as it normally would do, till about 3 or 4 hours before the game. So keep some moisture in there. It's going to be a lot drier as the day goes on with the blazing weather that we've got going on out there and that slight breeze that dries things out. So yeah, I think that not only do we feel that we've got the capacity to chase down, as Grace Scrivens comes in, lofted in the air, falling just short of Sophia Smale, who throws her head back in. Regret that she didn't throw herself forward to pick that one up, but yeah, I think the pitch conditions are not going to change a huge amount, but if you're going to get anything, it might give you that opportunity to be that, to get something first up.
Go on, you continue.
And another straight hit down the ground, as we find often down here. You can't tell if it's going to get fielded or not. Joe Gardner comes round and picks it up, restricting them to a single. So Grace Scrivens bowling another great spell here, isn't she? It's always confusing when she's 2 balls into an over and she's bowled 2 overs.
And that one's over the head of Sophia Smale on that occasion, and it's gone for 4. On the whole, largely we've seen some really lively fielding, I think, from Essex, and the catches. There was maybe just the one that went down from Grucock when she was bowling, and a misfield over in the corner from Sophia Smale, but on the whole they've held on to the catches. No,
we've been very active and lively in the field, haven't we? I thought Sophia Smale's return catch was very sharp and set us on the way to getting some middle over momentum.
And that one's turned behind square by Taylor, who's got herself onto, is it 5 or 6? 6 very quickly, 122 for 5. Freeborn is the linchpin of the innings on 61. Clubs that one into the leg side, and again Joe Gardner appears out of nowhere and does the fielding from underneath us.
Did brilliantly to keep them down to just a single there. I think that's a pocket that you would be targeting. It's one of the longer boundaries. It's certainly longer towards the pavilion side today here at Chelmsford, so they would have been trying to target that into 2, but it wasn't to be, with Joe picking that one up pretty quickly and in swiftly.
Scrivens into Taylor, who's driving just wide of long on. Flo Miller coming around on that occasion as they come back for 2. So Taylor moves on to 8, and Warwickshire 125 for 5 at the end of Grace Scrivens' over. It's 2.2 overs she's now bowled, 0 for 20.
You can't call it her third over. Well, it is
Yes.
her third over because she can't bowl any more than one more, but it's always odd when the scoreboard has that, because Jodie Grucock's now coming on and she's on her 1.2 overs.
It's a nightmare
as well,
for the scorebook, isn't it?
It is. It's the kind of thing that when you look at it after the game, if you haven't been watching the game, you wonder how you got there. But we'll try and keep track up here. And I think, to be honest, obviously dealing with the loss of a bowler mid-over is never easy for a captain. But Grace has really used her bowlers really well today. Sort of not taking that temptation when someone's bowled quite well to keep them on, but also not being afraid to change things up when she felt that it needed to move between her seamers and her spinners. She's done a great job marshalling them.
Jodie Grucock's at the Graham Gooch end, and Freeborn is getting low to try and meet that one. There's another half appeal, and again, it just on those occasions where they have been struck on the pad, it just seems that the batters are a bit slow to make the decision on whether they're going to go for the quick single or not. Yeah,
there was another one, the previous Jodie Grucock over, that I thought that we might have missed out on a sharp chance when Grace Scrivens didn't rush in. Jodie comes in again, very full. Mary Taylor nearly yorks herself, but digs that one out. A precious dot ball in the last few overs of a game.
Yeah, what would be a good target to limit Warwickshire here to for Essex?
Oh, it's really hard, isn't it? It's the first game of the season at Chelmsford. So you've got no history. I think that you'd probably back yourself to chase anything below 160. Certainly with one slightly shorter boundary as we have today. A few of our batters will be eyeing that one up.
Grucock is in, and Taylor was going down to it. She's gone. Oh. She was trying to sweep that one on one knee, was Mary Taylor, but the wicket has fallen. Warwickshire lose their 6th. They're 126 for 6, and Mary Taylor departs for 8. Like to see that one again.
Yeah, again, Jodie Grucock doing what Jodie Grucock does well, which is just sort of drift it in at the stumps, and looks like she almost did Mary Taylor a little bit in the top spin, which tried to sweep her, and it was a bit fuller than she thought. So, yeah, really good wicket. As we say, you don't want Abby Freeborn to get away, but she can't get away if she's at the other end, and she hasn't got an in-batter to work with. But so certainly what you would say about Warwickshire is they keep batting all the way down. Alexa Stonehouse has opened the batting in her pretty short career to now, so you know that you've got quality coming in all the way down the order. But from an Essex perspective, we've just got to keep the energy up, keep doing what we're doing, and like we say, it's the cliche of every run counts, but you've got to be pretty happy with where you're sat now. But big 3.5 overs to come.
Yeah, just 21 years of age is the Leicester Stonehouse. She's played a lot of her cricket in the south. Plying a trade for Warwickshire at the moment. She'll face the bowling of Jodie Grucock. That one's called as a wide. It had Stonehouse reaching for it. Grucock in over the wicket again, and that is through the gate, and she's bowled her. And Jodie Grucock has picked up 2 wickets in this over as Essex try and finish off this Warwickshire innings. The 7th wicket goes down, 127 for 7. She's having some success out there.
She is. I'm still trying to work out how many balls she's got left to bowl in this over, but yeah, again, like she keeps the stumps in play. She does get a little bit on the ball that makes it difficult. It's difficult to sweep Jodie, and a lot of, well, we've seen Mary Taylor fall to it, we've seen Alexa Stonehouse fall to it here, which again, bowling her from that far end, the Graham Gooch end, as it is at the far end now, that with the short boundary on the leg side, you almost see a couple of batters fall into that trap of thinking, we haven't quite got enough on the board here. Let's, we've got to accelerate here. There's a nice big gap that she's left. If they get it right, I don't really see either Cordelia Griffith or Sophia Smale out on the leg side boundary cutting it off, but neither of them have been able to contact in the way that they wanted to, as the other Taylor twin comes out to bat in Millie.
She made her debut against Essex for Sussex when she first started playing, as Grewcock is in to Taylor, who bottom edges that one into the leg side. They think about the second, but it will just be the single, so she gets off strike, and we've got one more ball of this Jodie Grewcock over, which, because of the 2 wickets and the wide as well, it does feel like it's gone on for a little while, doesn't it?
If she wants to finish with another wicket, no one's going to complain in this ground.
Well, here she comes to Freeborn, who gets low to paddle that one round the corner and paddle it away to the boundary. It's got 3 fielders in pursuit, but they won't get near it because the pace of it will take it over the boundary for 4 to finish off that Jodie Grewcock over. 2 for 27, Warwickshire 132 for 7.
And from a Warwickshire perspective and from an Essex perspective, Abby Freeborn's the key here, isn't she? She's the batter that has got the pace of the wicket. We say she's got the ability to access boundaries all around the park, and she's a very controlled batter. If we can find a way to edge her out and give ourselves a sight at 10 and 11, then there's every chance of having a very doable total on your hands.
Sophia Smale back into the attack. She's got 1 wicket, that excellent caught and bowled earlier on of Georgia Redmayne, who was finding her flow, out for 36. And it will be Millie Taylor to face Sophia Smale with her sunglasses on and those bright pink trainers. Left arm in, turned behind square. They think about the second, they'll come back. Can Amara Carr get there first? No, she has a shot at the stumps, and there's a dive from Taylor to make the ground, and they managed to get through for those 2.
Yeah, that's a rarity. Flo Miller's throw not quite being on point, because we could have been quite tight at the return end there, but again, big couple of overs coming up.
Smale is in, full of delivery, which is driven towards long off. Just the single. No, there's a fumble
by Esme McGregor down there. It's just allowed, well, it might be a tactic. It's taken Abby Freeborn off strike, so
that's the balance, isn't it? Between the runs and the who you want on strikers. Smale is into Taylor. Turned into the leg side. Now they have got Freeborn on strike.
Who I'm sure will be eyeing up straight back over Sophia Smale's head, as it's one of the best areas to access on this ground.
Smale is in, and that's where she's gone. So she's gone along the ground. It has been stopped briefly by McGregor, which took the pace out of it and has allowed the fielder on the boundary just to get round to it and prevent it going over the ropes.
I think there might have been a couple of little hands on that. I think Sophia got a little bit on it. You can see her wringing her fingers out. Esme got slightly wrong-footed by that, and then she got enough on it to let Jo Gardner come round and pick it up.
So Freeborn's on 69, as that one is given a bit more air and turned towards deep mid-wicket for a single. 140 for 7. Sophia Smale just making some changes to her field. She's bringing Esme McGregor up. She's in a mid-off position. Smale comes over the wicket, and that's where the ball goes past Esme McGregor, who's just been brought up to inside the ring, and it's away for 4 runs to finish the over.
Oh, cricket. That's one of those, isn't it, where you have a great plan in your head and it doesn't, the batter hasn't quite bought into it. But again, another really good spell from Sophia Smale. She got the key wicket of Redmayne earlier to get some momentum through the middle of the innings for Essex, and while we'll be disappointed with the way she's finished, her contribution has definitely helped put us into this position that's to give ourselves a realistic target to shoot down.
It's a bowler conflab going on.
There is Sophie Munro going to finish at the Graham Gooch end after her great start. Feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I know T20 is the shortest form of the game, but this still feels pretty lengthy when we've watched her take the edge of Meg Austin in the first couple of balls of the game, wasn't it?
I think it was the third ball of the game we saw the first wicket. And she's in deep discussion with Eva Gray. And now Grace Scrivens, the captain, is coming over as well to discuss. I can't quite see the cut-off times, but we've got 2 overs to go.
Well, if that ball's correct, we're already past it.
Oh.
So I think there might be. Let's have a quick count of fielders. We might be bringing one in.
Monroe's ready from the Graham Gooch end. And she comes to Freeborn, who has gone for the paddle, and they want the quick single, and then there's a peel and the run out. Well, Freeborn was desperate to get the single as she turned that one round the corner, but it's at the expense of Taylor, who has been run out after quick work in the field, and Carr whips the bails off.
Yeah, it was a bit of work for Amara Carr to do there. She wasn't at the stump, so being able to get that one in and out, and again, as she did, Jodie did for the run out at the far end, managed to execute well at the end. But we are right. Sophie Munro's death bowling is made slightly tougher by the fact that she's only got three fielders to play with outside the ring. So at the moment, her leg sides have got a lot of coverage, but the offside does not have any boundary riders out there, hence you can see why Abby Freeborn wanted to try and get the ball through there. Could only pick out Grace Scrivens at backward point to manage to keep her calm and get the ball into the keeper.
And that brings Georgia Davis, the captain, the Warwickshire captain, to the crease. And what will come first, the end of the 20 overs, or can Essex find the last couple of wickets they need? Well, it's an instant impact for Sophie Monro. Still waiting for our figures to update, but it's her second wicket of the game. Sorry, it was a run out, wasn't it? So it won't count. It's the weather. As that one is pulled away, and it will bounce out to the fielder in the deep. I think the hot weather's getting to me.
Look, I always think that bowlers do deserve a bit of credit for these
Well,
run-outs.
yes.
Like you've got to do your job. It's a bit like leg byes. How do you get away with a leg bye? You've bowled the ball in a place that has still allowed them to score a run off it. So, as a fully paid up member of the Bowlers Union, I
modify the laws.
Yeah.
Modify the laws. As Monroe is coming in over the wicket, full delivery, which has been turned around the corner by Freeborn.
Jodie Brucock is down there and fields it on the fumble, but no damage to the scoreboard.
And no damage to the hand as well, we hope, because she's been so impressive with the bat, hasn't she, this season in the 50-over comp. You want more of the same in the T20.
You really do, and to see her get the opportunity to make her England debut in the last 10 days has been absolutely phenomenal.
In comes Monroe to Davis, who just tries to reach at that one, which is called a leg side wide. Did you manage to get to?
No, unfortunately not. I had an ill-timed holiday, which meant I was sat on a campsite glued to a stream. But to be fair, Durham was always going to be a bit of an ask.
Yes.
I know she had a huge entourage waiting for her at Wantage Rose in Northampton, only for the rain to intervene on that one. But it won't be the first time or the last time she plays for them, as Sophie Monroe strikes Georgia Davis on the pad and they scamper through for a single.
It was good to see her get a wicket. We were talking earlier about the way it was described on the BBC Sport website as a rank delivery, but it all goes down the same in the scorebook.
I'll be honest with you. I've seen bowlers bowl worse
Yeah.
and be complimented on it. So I'm not really sure how it's getting quite so much jip. But the reality is that actually, again, she bowled it. It was a bit wider than she wanted, and this is my take, not her take. She bowled a bit wider than she would have wanted. But that dip that she gets and the overspin she gets on the ball, it made it difficult for Amelia Kerr to actually access where she wanted to access.
That's driven straight back down the ground by Abby Freeborn, who has been watching wickets fall around her. And that passes the 150 mark for Warwickshire, 152 for 8 Freeborn onto 75.
Yeah, she's played a very good innings here, hasn't she? Abby Freeborn's been a player that we've watched back quite a lot at Chelmsford over the years. She's got 100 to her name in the 50 over competition against Sunrisers a few years ago, and look, she's a reliable performer for Warwickshire.
She is on strike at the moment as Monroe is in, and she's on the back foot there, playing it loftily. It'll bounce in front of the fielder. Joe Gardner out in the deep on the leg side, and they just take the single, so she will keep strike for the final over. As the breeze just picks up slightly.
Yeah, the players out in the middle will be very pleased with that. A breeze to take the edge off it, but you can still see how hot it is. Comments earlier around the towel that was sitting in a few players' pockets, that just to try and keep your hands dry when you're bowling. It's difficult in conditions like this. We're not talking extreme heat yet, are we? But face it, we are English, and it is May, and therefore if it hits anywhere in the late 20s, we're bound to make comment about it.
Yeah, and always, well, certainly at this side of the ground, always feels that bit warmer at this time of day. Certainly the hottest part, but I can see the spectators enjoying it. Most of them sitting in the uncovered sections of the stands, watching on to see where Warwickshire will finish up in their innings and how Essex will go about trying to chase that total down. Eva Gray, who got a couple of quick wickets in the middle of this Warwickshire innings, is back into the attack from the Sir Alistair Cook end. She is into Freeborn, who clips that one towards deep square leg. It catches Cordelia Griffith by surprise as she fields it, and they'll come through for 2.
Yeah, and again, Eva Gray's had to figure out where her 3 outfielders are going to go. So again, she's gone leg side. She's got herself a long on, a deep mid wicket and a square, as Cordelia Griffith was out there and fielded that last ball. So yeah, knows where she needs to bowl here, as the short boundary on the offside doesn't have any protection.
155 for 8 as Gray is in. That is in the air. Is it going to evade the fielder? It might have even gone all the way for 6. No, it's 4. But it had height on it there from Freeborn as it was hit away towards the Tom Pearce stand. 159 for 8. She moves on to 82.
Despite all of the cover being out there, that pocket is one of those, when you see on a cricket pitch, it becomes more square than it becomes round, so there's kind of no way to cover it. If you can find that angle as a batter, then you've got a very good chance of dissecting the fielders.
Yeah, we've seen her play a few of those shots towards that long on boundary as Gray is on her way in to Freeborn. She gives that one a bit of width on the back foot, and it's backward a square. We'll come back for 2. So again, Freeborn keeping the strike, which from a Warwickshire point of view will be important in this final over. 161 for 8.
Yeah, she's managed to just find the right angle, hasn't she? Obviously, the first one, Cordelia Griffith might be kicking herself slightly, that it took a hop on her and she couldn't kick it up cleanly first time. But that one, there was a lot of ground to make up to come in and try and keep them just a single.
Gray is in, and that one again is up in the air. Should it be caught? No, it's on the bounce in front of Flo Miller, so just a single on that occasion from Abby Freeborn, playing it out towards deep mid wicket. Takes her off strike, and we've got 2 deliveries left.
Doesn't look like Eva Gray's changed her field. She's going with the same approach, bowl as straight as she can and let them do the work.
And she comes to Davis, and Davis uses soft hands to play that one along the ground, and Cordelia Griffith calls into action again off the deep square leg boundary. Just a single, so it brings Freeborn back onto strike, which will be the final delivery, if legal, of the Warwickshire innings. the braid just rolls up one sleeve as she turns on her mark, and she is into Freeborn, who's gone hard at it, and it's fielded by Smales. They come through for a single. Final ball of the innings done. 164 for 8 is the total. Abby Freeborn, who has been the player of the innings for Warwickshire with the bat, 86, and Georgia Davis finishing not out on 3. Danny Warren, what have you made of that Warwickshire innings from an Essex point of view?
I think that the crowd that is growing frequently at the moment, it's a nice little murmur going on out there at the moment, so hopefully a few more are going to come in, are going to have a very good second innings to watch. I'm not sure a score like that which way it really goes. Obviously with a short boundary, we know we've got firepower all the way down our batting order today. There's very few weak links, that if we can set ourselves a platform from an Essex perspective, then a good power play and the opportunity to build through the middle, then you would be very confident in chasing it down. That said, Warwickshire will be happy that, having recovered from losing 3 quick wickets in the middle, and I guess not really giving any support to Abby Freeborn after Georgia Redmayne left the crease, that they'll be very grateful for her part in the innings. It's definitely held it together, but I think game on is probably the best way to describe this.
Game on indeed, and we will bring you the Essex innings here on the BBC Sport website and app, and on the Essex stream as well. We'll be back with you in a few minutes' time as Essex chase 165 to win the first T20 Blast match of the season.
Well, welcome back to a very sunny Chelmsford, and the opening game in the Vitality Women's Blast. Essex against Warwickshire. Warwickshire have batted first and they've set Essex a target of 165 to win. And the players just coming back out onto the field after a short break. I've just rushed back from the gents. If you can hear, I'm slightly out of breath, but I'm joined alongside by my BBC Essex colleague Nick Gledhill.
Yeah, hello James, hello everybody, and what a beautiful day it is. It's a long day for those who are here for the whole 8 hours. They've got a bit of a gap between the two games, and I'm sure they were looking to get a bit of shelter from the sun, but beautiful conditions, remarkable weather for late May, and an interesting situation really with I think Essex relatively pleased with keeping them down to 164 for 8.
It was that excellent innings from Abby Freeborn, wasn't it? The Warwickshire Bears opener, 86 not out from 56 balls, 11 fours, no sixes. As we get underway here, and it's Davis is bowling, Georgia Davis, the Warwickshire skipper, and Lizzie McLeod faces up, and they're underway with 2 runs.
Well, that should have been 1. There's a little bit of a misfield there, and that's encouraging from the Essex point of view. I mean, Abigail Freeborn played very well. Really just the one partnership in the innings for Warwickshire.
Davis bowling again to McLeod, and that's short of a length down the leg side, and that's punished, and that's the first boundary of the innings. Essex onto 6 for 0 off just 2 balls. That's poor delivery from Georgia Davis.
Yeah, so that's an encouraging start, and Essex actually batted very well in the equivalent fixture here last year. If they do so again, this target should be chaseable.
Now it's a real freebie. Here comes Davis again, gives that a bit more flight, but McLeod gets down and plays a slog sweep along the floor. Fielder at deep mid wicket gathers, and they hurry through for a single.
Abigail Freeborn's 86 not out from 56 balls. Essex are trying to starve her at the strike in the closing stages, and that one significant partnership with Georgia Redmayne, who made 36. There was a missed run-out chance for Essex, but Warwickshire declined from 80 for 1 in the 10th to 164 for 8 in 20 overs.
Pick of the bowlers, probably Jodie Grucock, 2 for 27 from her 3.2 overs. Had to leave the field momentarily to get some treatment on her hand as McLeod comes down the track. That's a glorious strike. Couple of steps down the track and pumps Georgia Davis straight back over her head with a lovely straight drive. 1 bounce, 4 runs.
Well, Lizzie McLeod's in a bit of early season form in the T20 with that. That was a very positive shot, and a fast start here would be ideal, particularly if Essex don't lose wickets in the power play, because it's going to make it possible for the middle order to bat at 50 over pace. So obviously calculated aggression in pursuit of his target of 165.
Oh, no need to play yourself in when you're seeing the ball like that. Lizzie McLeod, that was glorious, and this is given more flight outside off stump, and that's drilled straight to the fielder at short cover.
Actually, she timed that pretty well. It went straight to the short extra, a yard either side. That was another 4.
Oh, and that's worked around the corner. It's Grace Scrivens, correction, who's on strike, and that's worked nicely round the corner, and that is 4 runs. Very well played. Captain bowling at captain. Grace Scrivens comes out on top there, and she moves on to 8 off 3 balls. Essex are 15 without loss from the first over, so an excellent start in comparison. Warwickshire really struggled in the first over, losing a wicket. Meg Austin going for 0. So they're off to a flyer of the home team.
So a great start from McLeod and Scrivens. I mean, that's just absolutely perfect. 15 off the first over. Can't ask for much more than that. So it is going to be McLeod back on strike, and that's not what Warwickshire would have wanted, because it's immediately put pressure on the other bowlers. And let's see what sort of response they can provide now. It is going to be Alexa Stonehouse who is going to bowl, and she's going to come in from the Alistair Cook end. She's going to bowl left arm over the wicket, and immediately there's an attempt to force that one down the ground from McLeod, but it strikes her on the pad and rolls into the offside. Well, the last left arm seamer saw bowling from that end was on Sunday, and that was Josh Howley, the England one-time England player, hopefully again. He bowled nicely, And now we have another left armer in this match with McLeod on strike to Stonehouse, and that's just back of a length and pulled away nicely. That's going to go for 4. It's a fast outfield and away to the boundary. 19 for no wicket, and this 2 o'clock start time not of great help really for the spectators, but we do have more spectators coming in the last hour or so. I think it will build up a little bit more during the rest of this innings. And so far it's been an ideal start for Essex. 19 for no wicket. Stonehouse again from the Alistair Cook end, up to the wicket, bowls, and this is driven but without timing, up to mid-on. Quick single shot, the stumps comes in, but that had to be a very, very good throw to really hurry McLeod on the way through to the non-strikers end, and it was a no ball. What an ideal start for Essex this is, and Warwickshire really on the back foot. I mean, boundaries being hit, and what they really didn't want was a no ball to be thrown into the mix as well. So it's 21 without loss, and a fast start for Essex, and that bonus of the no ball as well.
Danny Warren was saying in the last commentary stint before the innings break that Essex needs to come out firing if they've got any chance of chasing this down.
So this is a free hit as well, and Scrivens is on strike with 8, and Stonehouse will bowl to her. 21 without loss in the second, chasing 165. She's up to the wicket, she bowls, and she just uses the feet and plays it up towards mid-wicket, gets through for a quick single. That was quite a sharp single. The one thing you do not want in free hit territory is a run out, but that was quite a sharp single. It was actually a good ball from Stonehouse, and 22 without loss in the second. But 2 good overs for Essex at the start of this innings, and so far we're pleased with how this has gone. There's a short extra cover in, as this one is well pitched up and driven over the head of Stonehouse and up towards mid-on, and there's no run. So we've got short third, backward point, orthodox cover mid-off, and that short extra cover, and there's a mid-wicket quite conventional, and mid-on, maybe quite short, then a mid-on in a normal position, and a deep square leg on the boundary, and there's one other boundary fielder as well, and that's pulled away, and it beats mid-wicket and goes away for 4. 4 more for McLeod, who started really well. Both these two have, and this is an ideal start for Essex. 26 for no wicket. Looking around for that other fielder. Oh yes, down there, away in the distance in front of the executive boxes. So 2 fielders on the boundary on the leg side, one at fine leg and one at deep square.
That's a fabulous stroke, that.
It was. I mean, she really started well on McLeod on 16, 26 for no wicket. Up comes Stonehouse again, bowls, and that's driven back past the bowler and away for 4 down the ground. Lovely shot, mid-off dived to try and stop it, but couldn't. This is a terrific start by the Essex women. 30 for no wicket. They've got a target of 165, which they'd have settled for, particularly, as I say, when Warwickshire were going along pretty well at one point halfway through the innings. But they did well. They couldn't get Freeborn out, but they closed down the rest of the Warwickshire innings once they got Redmayne out, and now the 2 openers have started very well. And a strong power play here, James, and Essex will be right in the box seat. 30 without loss and just the 2 overs, and I make that 15 have come from each of the first 2.
Yeah, spot on. You can't ask for a better start than that, can you, as a batting side? They've cut the required run rate down already to just 7.5. 30 for 0 off 2. Back-to-back boundaries there for Lissy McLeod. The first one through sort of cow corner. Great shot, and the second even better. Just thumped down the ground past mid-off. Raced away to the fence. So Lizzie McLeod's off to a flyer. 20 off just 9 balls. Grace Scrivens, the skipper, at the other end. Well, she's going to face up now. She's 9 not out from 4 balls, and we've got a change of bowling. Charis Pavley coming into the attack. Couldn't make an impact with the bat. She was dismissed by Eva Gray for 5 in the first innings.
It was a very uneven batting performance from Warwickshire. One outstanding innings.
Very top heavy. Here comes Pavley. Left arm spin, and Scrivens just squirms that away to cover. It's fielded. There is no run.
There's been 2 very good power play overs here for Essex, and want to try and convert the rest of these remaining 4.
Pavley again sets herself, left arm over the wicket, bowling to the left-handed Grace Scrivens. That's a drag down. That's down the leg side, and that is punished by Grace Scrivens. She jumps on that. That's a freebie. A real hit-me ball. Short, down the leg side. Scrivens pulls it away to the fence. The fielder, there is a fielder there at deep square leg. But that was hit with such power from Grace Scrivens. She didn't have a chance out in the deep. So the Essex steam train continues to race on. 34 for naught from 2.2 overs.
Yes, of course, in this power play, only 2 fielders can be in the deep. At the moment, they're at long on and deep mid-wicket.
Oh, Pavley again, that's a rank drag down, and that's punished in exactly the same spot as the ball before. And wow, 2 real freebies for Grace Scrivens, but she's punished them both. She's up onto 17 now from just 7 balls. Essex continue racing along, 38 for naught. And wow, Charis Pavley will be really disappointed there, won't she, Nick?
Yes, after a good first delivery, she has dropped short, which as a spinner on a pretty good pitch is asking for trouble.
Yeah, you just eliminate any chance of major spin, and that's a full toss, but she gets away with that. She's gone the complete opposite way from 2 drag downs. She's just overcompensated.
Yeah, Scrivens drove it straight to cover and was visibly annoyed with herself, but shouldn't be, because it's the position, the overall position that counts.
Pavley again, that's another drag down, and that is hammered. There's a fielder there, doesn't go for it. Fielder at long on. I think if she'd really have attacked that, she might have been with a chance of a catch, but it bounces just short, and Scrivens is going to get away with one there. Takes a single.
Yes, that's the one thing you've got to bear in mind, but the 2 fielders in the deep, in front of square on the onside, so there's an element of risk there. But let's have a look and see how McLeod gets on against the spinner.
So 1 ball's come in the over, 9 runs already from it, 2 boundaries and a single for Grace Scrivens as Pavley just tinkers with her field slightly. She's moving Mary Taylor to short third man, and bowls left arm. That's punched to fairly straight short cover fielder. No run. That's the end of the over. Just the 9 from it in the end after a bad start. Pavley's done well to claw it back, but after 3 overs, Essex are motoring along. 13 and over. They're 39 without loss. McLeod has 20. Scrivens 18.
Yes, first ball was decent, and the last one was, but Essex might feel they could have cashed in even more on the 4 in between.
Another change of bowling. Phoebe Brett looks to be coming into the attack. She's taken 6 wickets in the One Day Cup competition for Warwickshire this season, so not bad returns.
Another spinner, I think.
Yeah, spin's the way to go at the moment.
Yeah, quite a spin-heavy attack here from Warwickshire, but 39 for no wicket in pursuit of 165. Well, you've got to say from the Essex point of view, an ideal start, as this first ball is just played with an angle back by Scrivens up into the covers, and there's no run. So 39 for no wicket, and the required rate, well, around about 7.6, and she comes down the ground and lofts that away. That's going up towards long on. It could be caught, and it's a good catch actually, and that's a frustration for Essex, because that's a bit of a giveaway, because they had Warwickshire very, very firmly on the back foot, and that one lofted away, but fielder at long on to the spinner again. It was close to a catch in the previous over, and this time it was. So Scrivens goes, and that's a slight gift of a wicket from Essex's point of view. They'll be slightly annoyed there, but 39 for 1. McLeod remains, but Scrivens, who was batting very well, goes for 18, and just fell into a bit of a trap there. Wasn't quite there for the shot, and it's a nice catch by Taylor up long on, and never looked like dropping it.
Yeah, frustration there for the Essex captain. She absolutely nailed one of those shots in the second over, and that time, as you say, Nick, she didn't quite get to the pitch of the ball, did she? And it hung in the air for a long time.
Yeah,
and Mary Taylor, it did well, running in from the boundary at long on. She set herself and took a very good catch, and possibly quite an important catch.
Yeah, still a good start but they don't want to give Warwickshire way back into the game. And well, a nice start for the bowler. Another spinner, Brett, bowling now. Left arm around the wicket, and the first ball to Cordelia Griffith, just played defensively back down the pitch, and there is no run. So we're still in the power play. We've got a 4-3 field in favour of the offside with a short extra cover in, otherwise it's a ring field, and this is a attempted forcing shot by Griffith, gets it away up to mid-off, and in the air I think initially, but no run. 39 for 1, so a bit of a break being applied here by Phoebe Brett, and it's been a good over, just what Warwickshire needed. With Essex 126 runs away from their target as she bowls, and that's a sweep shot and played nicely. That's a good shot. That's going up to the long leg boundary for 4 runs. Beautifully executed sweep from Cordelia Griffith to get herself underway here. 43 for 1 in the 4th over. And my word, James, it would be so useful for Essex to win it the first time I'm asking in this competition, because the next game will be tricky. It's Hampshire away. They're playing at Taunton today, and that's a nicely balanced game. 159 for 6 Somerset in their 20 overs, and it's Hampshire against Essex at 3 o'clock next Tuesday afternoon, as this next one's a bit flatter, and another well executed, more of a lap shot that, but equally effective, away for 4 runs. So that had been Warwickshire's over, but Griffith, with those 2 strokes back of the square on the onside, has evened it up, and Essex will still be pretty satisfied here. 47 for 1 after 4. Pavely, that was a good over, followed by a good over from Brett, which has just pegged things back a little bit, plus the wicket. But 47 for 1 after 4, chasing 165. In any T20 game, the batting side would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, definitely, it's all about momentum in this competition, isn't it? And you worried that Essex might stall for a moment with the loss of their skipper, who was going so well, but Cordelia Griffith has come out all guns blazing. 2 lovely sweep shots, well timed behind square, and she's striking at 200, 8 runs already off just 4 balls. The required run rate at just over 7.3.
Just to say also, we have Lancashire and Surrey at the Oval. Lancashire women 185 for 7. It is at the Oval though, so you'd expect perhaps an above par score in terms of the average around the country. And at Nottingham, Yorkshire 179 for 5 against the Blaze. So that's a pretty good score there at Trent Bridge. I see Lauren Winfield Hill missed out. Of course, he did so well for Essex last year, but now back with Yorkshire.
And another change of bowling. It's Mary Taylor at the Graham Gooch. And there's 2 M Taylors in this Warwickshire team, Mary and Millie, twin sisters, and both also playing for the Birmingham Phoenix in the 100 competition.
Well, we had a brother and a sister playing with Sophia Smell and her brother on the same day. Was that last year? I think it was.
Yeah,
yes.
Will Smell.
Yeah.
Glamorgan wicket keeper, isn't he?
I think it was last year. And then we had something which I thought was really intriguing in the championship match, where we had 2 Essex-born openers opening for the opposition, which I thought was a really unique thing, because I'm pretty sure that hasn't happened too often.
Which game was that?
That was the Leicester game that's just gone.
Oh yeah.
So we had Rishi Patel
yeah.
and Sol Bujinger.
Ah.
Colchester-born. Of course, Rishi Patel very much went through the Essex system. Sol didn't.
Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't know Budinger
he was born in Colchester. There we are.
There you go, yeah. Great nugget of knowledge there as Mary Taylor comes into the crease. That's short, outside off stump. Oh, and that's dropped at cover. That was a real chance there. Lissy McLeod didn't time it at all.
Yeah, and
threw her hands
it's
at
the
it.
hero of the day, Freeborn, Abigail Freeborn. Well,
hero to villain.
Well, it could be, because that could be a big moment.
Well, especially as Lizzie McLeod was going along so nicely when she's still there. That could prove to be a big drop, and Essex fans here will certainly be hoping so. And that was a bit of a nothing shot from Lizzie McLeod, so maybe just a warning for her to try and keep her head down as she just re-rehearses that shot. And Mary Taylor comes in again, nearly a wicket with her first ball, and as to rub salt into the wound, she's cut away to the fence by Cordelia Griffith, who really isn't mucking about here. We know she's a powerful striker and loves to play on the front foot, attacking cricket, but she just latched onto that one, short of a length, hit me ball outside off stump. She didn't need asking twice. So more frustration for the bowler. Here she comes, bounding in again. And that's Fuller, that's in the block hole, and that's a glorious strike, and it beats the diving fielder at mid-on. And Cordelia Griffith has dug that out the block hole. Played a glorious straight drive, and it's another boundary.
I love the positivity that the Essex batters are showing. 56 for 1. And yeah, the wicket was a little bit of a soft dismissal. But this has been an excellent power play by Essex so far. And the target, well, it'll soon be down below 3 figures. It's 109 required at the moment.
Taylor bowls again, and that strikes Griffith on the thigh pad, just back of a length on the leg stump, and they hurry through for 1.
So they did beat Warwickshire last year, but on the whole, I had the impression with the blast that, or the women's blast, that it was almost a couple of divisions within a division. The top sides were well clear. The Surreys, Hampshires, Blazes. Yeah.
Here's Taylor again, penultimate ball of the over. Oh, that's straight and strikes McLeod on the pad, but that's sneaking down the leg side, not out, no run.
And the hope is that Essex are moving at perhaps some pace towards those sides, and we'll get a good idea on Tuesday when they play Hampshire, and the hope will be, of course, that they go into that game with a win already under their belts.
Yeah, it does feel like they've just slightly closed the gap on some of those better, more experienced teams in the division, and they're looking good here. 57 for 1. Here comes Taylor, last ball of the over, and that is clubbed. It's up in the air, and it's going to go over the fielder at mid-on. Is it going to run away to the fence? No, good piece of fielding out there, and it's just going to be 2 runs.
It's a good description there. Lizzie McLeod slightly got away with that. She just about got enough bat on it to clear mid-on, but not by much.
And it's a no ball, I think. Yep, it is. This is another bonus being handed to Essex, a second no ball of the innings.
Well, I can't remember too many extras being conceded by Essex. We can just look up the
couple of wides early on.
Which you always expect the odd wide, but the no balls are what really can hurt the fielding side.
And obviously, of course, the bowler can't change their field once they've given away this no ball. So, free hit for Lizzie McLeod. Taylor bowls. Oh, and that's a beamer.
It's a no ball as well.
It's another no ball, and it's 4 runs. It's clubbed through mid-wicket for 4. It's very high, about shoulder height that. And McLeod did well to react in time, and even better to get it away to the fence. And it's going to be back-to-back no balls, back-to-back free hits.
Well, the strange thing was, in a normal course of events, Meg Austin at mid-wicket was actually quite close to that, and it only just cleared it. But of course, it wouldn't. All she'd have been doing was saving runs if she had caught it.
Just
because, of course,
over
it was
her
a free
head,
hit. Yeah.
So here we go, another free hit for Lizzie McLeod. Steps away, flicks that away. Lovely wrists on that stroke, and there's a dive in the deep, but to no avail. Lizzie McLeod has 4 more, and the Essex fans let out a cheer. It's been a horrible over for Mary Taylor, especially considering it started with that drop catch.
I tell you what, that probably ought to have been stopped at fine leg. Just a hint of Warwickshire unravelling a little bit here. And Essex getting away, but they've just got to make sure that they don't give this away, because they've got the opposition absolutely where they want them. This has been a terrific power play, and the one soft dismissal, but an element of panic there, I think, at times for Warwickshire in that over with the 2 free hits, and then just the indication that it was getting to the players a little bit out there with the the misfield at fine leg, which gave away the boundary. And Essex just need to be ruthless here and not give Warwickshire any way back into this, because they've completely got them where they want them at the moment. So it's going to be Phoebe Brett again bowling, and that's just played defensively from the crease up towards Freeborn at short mid wicket, who must be thinking if only a few of my colleagues had, other than Georgia Redmayne, had helped me a bit more, because she batted superbly, but her innings should not prove to be enough here. 69 for 1, chasing 165. We're in the 6th, and this is lofted away, and it goes just past mid-off. It's going to be probably two fielders chasing after it, and eventually it is picked up at long off, but it was only a partial stop, and 2 go to a total. 71 for 1, and Griffith to 18, who started well.
She's striking at 200, Cordelia Griffith, and Lissy McLeod striking at just a tad over 200, so both going really nicely here, the Essex batters.
Brett Bowles, this is a sweep of the front foot. That's a beautiful shot. Beautifully executed by Griffith. She's played that shot off Brett very well on 3 occasions. That one was actually just off the front foot and directly square through the onside, but the execution was perfect. And she's gone to 22 off 10, 75 for 1. And, well, tell you what, those coming for the evening game, try and get here as quickly as possible, because you're seeing some cracking batting here at the moment from Essex. This is just played away into the onside up towards square leg. Well, I mean, they're almost halfway to the target. We're still in the power play, and Warwickshire very much on the back foot. And I say Essex will have, of course, the bonus of being able to push the ball into the gaps at the end of this over. As here comes Griffith. That's a slightly ungainly shot, but she's got it up towards mid-off. Sharp to stumps. That would have been the end of McLeod had it. Griffith had it hit, but it didn't. There was a chance there. That was a bit of a risky single, and it went really straight to mid-off. The throw came in, but it came in from Georgia Davis and just missed, and that's a reprieve for Griffith. 76 for 1 in the 6th. Chasing 165 as a flatter one from Bennett, and that's just played around the corner down towards short fine. What a superb power play from the Essex women. 76 for 1 from 6 overs. There was the wicket, and that was Grace Scrivens. Soft dismissal she'll probably view it as, because she didn't quite get to the pitch of one from Brett and lofted it to long on. But superb batting from McLeod 31 and Griffith 23, and 76 for 1. So target 165, 14 overs, and now they've got the luxury of being able to push the ball into the gaps, and it's just a question, I think, James, of sensible batting. And they could not have played the power play, with the one exception of that slight mistake from Scrivens. They could not have played it any better.
I make you right, Nick. Yeah, it's just about keeping composure now, isn't it? Working those gaps. Essentially it's a runner ball. Required rate is 6.36. They're currently going at 12.67 are Essex, so really are off to a flyer. Now they're both in. They can really just work the field as it's more spin. Mary Taylor to continue. She bowled 1 over for 21. She got really battered in her last over.
Well, it's a spin, I say, quite a spin-heavy attack here from Warwickshire, but so far it hasn't worked for them. They haven't quite consistently bowled it in the right place.
Taylor again, and that is a reverse sweep from Cordelia Griffith, and that is very nicely played. And that is racing away to the fence for 4 more, so she's got the sweep out, now she's getting the reverse sweep out.
Her strokes back of the spur on the onside and have been absolutely superb, and that one was played with the reverse hands and equally well done, but she's played in that area off the spinners so well, and that one going away. There was no real power in the shot, and there was a long chase for 2 of the fielders. They didn't quite get there, did they? But as it went to the boundary just out of our sight, but she has looked very good against the spin so far.
And a correction, it's actually Millie Taylor, so it's a change of bowling. She's coming on to replace her sister, who went for 21 in her first over. But it's the left arm mystery spin of Millie Taylor. Cordelia Griffith just works her up to long on and takes a single, so this is good from Essex. Boundary and 1, and they've almost got their required runs for the over. And they move on to 81 for 1 in the 7th over. Millie Taylor just thinking about tweaking her field again here.
Yes, it is Millie with her left arm.
She's got number 11 on her back. There we go. That's worked into mid-wicket by McLeod, and they're just going to settle for a single. Good throw. Reaches the keeper on the full from the boundary.
What I've really liked about Essex here is
since they got Redmayne out, they've thoroughly been in charge of this match, and they just have to make sure that they keep this advantage.
Taylor to Griffith, and that's well played, and they're going to work that into mid-wicket. Think about 2 here, but there's no need to take the risk. They'll settle for 1 instead. Yeah, Essex, they've been so positive in this match. I thought they bowled well, I thought they fielded well, and now they've come out and they're batting very nicely in glorious conditions here at Chelmsford. The sun's been out all afternoon, just clear blue sky, the very, very faint wisp of cloud. And well, Grace Scrivens clearly knew what she was doing when she won the toss, yes, and elected to bowl first. I thought she might have a bat, but this
yeah, probably 50-50,
now.
Similar conditions all the way through the game. We've got this sort of light breeze we've had throughout.
Taylor to McLeod on that structure on the pad as she gets the sweep out. Umpire's not interested. I think that pitched outside leg stump. Yeah, not out. That's the end of Millie Taylor's first over, so not a bad one. Essex on to 83 for 1. It
really is so unusual, this, James, and this is very unusual heat for late May, but because we're still technically in spring, but we get this weather arriving just when the spring bank holiday comes along. It's so rare.
Happy days.
I suspect the roads are pretty awful today and will be this evening and probably tomorrow, but a lot of people will be heading very much in one direction, and that's to the coast. And as I say, we have a glorious forecast really for the next 7 days at least. I looked at the BBC forecast. There's an odd anomaly, but it's going to drop 8 degrees in Chelmsford on Wednesday and only be 21, but I'll believe that when I see it. We shall see.
21's not bad.
It's not bad, but as I say, it's in the high 20s most of the rest of the week. Now Stonehouse is coming back with her left arm seam. It's 83 for 1. Target 165, the require rate 6.3, and in she bowls, and that's edged away for 4. It wasn't a bad delivery, but Griffith got bat on it, and everything she touches turns to gold at the moment. Run down past the keeper and away for 4. Well, Cordelia Griffith, I can't remember, I wouldn't say it's explosive, because the innings has been characterised by deftness of touch, hasn't it, particularly against the spinners, but 33 off 17 balls, and actually McLeod is very much in the same territory at 32 from 18. Hasn't had as much of a strike in recent times, but 87 for 1. Stonehouse bowls. Oh, that's an awful beamer. She's completely lost control of that. It's gone over the head of Griffith, who thankfully saw it early. It's actually quite a long way over her head. It is a free hit, no ball. But Warwickshire, you just feel the pressure that the Essex batters have produced has got to 1 or 2 of the bowlers, and that's just a complete loss of control there from Alexa Stonehouse. It means we have another free hit. That's the 3rd free hit at least that I've counted. We're in the 8th over.
3.
88 for 1. She comes in to bowl to Griffith, who will come down the pitch and hit it away up towards long on. It will be caught. It doesn't matter, and she gets a single. So it's the only thing where was that she hit it to the fielder rather than wide of the fielder, but Stonehouse probably got away with that slightly. 89 for 1, just a single.
I think the delivery that was given a no ball, she looked like she was trying some sort of slower delivery or knuckleball, and it's just slipped out the hand.
She horribly got that wrong, didn't she? But anyway, she's going to bowl again, and she's going to go around the wicket, and this is a slightly ungainly shot from McLeod. It's going to be 4 runs.
Could be byes.
And yes, it is signalled as byes. Now, that's a little bit of a moral victory there for Stonehouse, because McLeod was looking to try and work that away into the onside and didn't really get too close to it, and it's gone past the keeper, and Warwickshire will feel nothing is going their way, but Essex with just a touch of fortune there, but they haven't needed much. They have not needed much. 93 for 1 in the 8th over, chasing 165. And bring Victoria back in at the end of this over from Stonehouse, which is 3 balls to go. And this is a pull shot, which is away to the deep square leg. But Warwickshire are struggling, of course, now to keep the runs down. The asking rate is a run aboard. It's another single there to Lizzie McLeod. But the problem they've got is at an asking rate of a run aboard. In fact, it's 5.76 at the moment. There's not a lot they can do other than take 2 or 3 wickets very quickly. 94 for 1. Here's Stonehouse again. Bowls. That's a better delivery. And off the back foot, that's a defensive shot from Griffith. up into the offside, which will slightly damage her strike rate. But you get a good ball at 94 for 1, chasing 165 in the 8th over, you can play a defensive shot, and that's exactly what she did there. Well, this has been really, really good, I have to say, James. It really has been. And question is, can Essex just see this through? 94 for 1, Stonehouse bowls. And that's played with an angle bounce. Another goodish delivery, and Griffith there didn't quite get that where she wanted. It came off the outer half of the bat and ran down towards backward point, the end of the over. So that is the completion of 8 overs, 94 for 1, McLeod 33, Griffith 34. A few more words from you, James, and then Victoria Polly coming back in.
Well, thank you, Nick. Yeah, Essex off to an absolute flyer here. And that last over, we had Nat Wraith stood up to the stumps, the Warwickshire wicket keeper, and I wonder if she'd have stood back, if she could have had Cordelia Griffith. As I just shuffle my chair forward to let Nick Gledhill out, and Victoria Polly's going to come and join me as Millie Taylor's continuing from the Graham Gooch end. That's worked into the leg side. Scamper through for a quick single. I wonder if Nat Wraith had been stood back, if she might have taken the catch off the edge of Cordelia Griffith, which ended up going for 4 from the first ball, and would have stopped those 4 byes. Taylor again, slog sweep from Griffith, 1 bounce to the fielder on the mid-wicket boundary, just a single. Essex just don't want to give Warwickshire a sniff or a chance back into this game. It's less than a run a ball now, the required rate. Victoria Polly, you've been watching from the back of the comms box. What have you made of what you've seen so far from Essex's batters? Oh, that's a glorious strike from Lissy McLeod, who's sort of been watching on from the non-strikers as Griffith has been smacking it all over the park, but she just hammers that back over the bowler's head nonchalantly and picks up another 4 runs.
I've been really impressed by the way Essex, not just the way they started, but even when they've lost captain Grace Scrivens, which was disappointing to see the way she, it wasn't a nice shot, but straight into Mary Taylor's hands. But it's been really impressive to see the way that Lissy McLeod and Cordelia Griffith have carried on.
And that's the 100 up for Essex, chasing 165. They've lost 1 wicket. We're only in the 9th over. Taylor again, that's down the leg side, and that's going to be called wide. So Warwickshire are really just hemorrhaging extras here at the moment, and it's all freebies for Essex. Millie Taylor, who's been training with fellow mystery spinner, left arm mystery spinner Jack Lintott, that's just worked into mid-wicket. They're going to think, oh, and there's a collision of 2 fielders there. The square, deep square and mid-wicket fielders have both converged to gather the same ball, and well, it's going from bad to worse for Warwickshire. They've completely missed the ball, wiped each other out, and Essex have been able to come back for 2. Taylor again, that's worked mid-wicket, it's going to be a single.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? When things aren't going for you, when you're conceding the extras, sometimes those little things, the misfields, the fumbles, 2 people getting in each other's way, they're just all things that can mount up when you feel like everything is against you.
Absolutely. And that's a couple of steps down the track from Griffith, and she just punches that to long on. I think Millie Taylor gets a slight hand on that, and it's just a single. So 9 overs gone now. Essex 105 for 1. McLeod 41 off 24. Griffith 36 off 23. The required run rate is under 5.5 and over.
Yeah, I think it's been good that McLeod and Griffith are playing the shots when they're there, but they don't need to do anything drastic. They're well ahead. They can be sensible and just take those opportunities when they come. It's been interesting, hasn't it? Because Cordelia Griffith has been opening with Grace Scrivens during the 50 over competition. Lissy McLeod, I think, has gone on loan to Gloucestershire maybe in that competition as well. But certainly benefiting from being part of the side and opening the batting in the first T20 game. Davis, the captain, bowling from the Sir Alistair Cook end. The spin, which has turned round the corner, very fine, down to the boundary from Cordelia Griffith. It's got 3 fielders in pursuit, but it will reach the rope first. There's a dive in vain over the rope, but Cordelia Griffith gets the boundary, and she moves on to 40.
Bravo. It's a
lovely shot.
Excellent shot. And Well, Cordelia Griffith, she's so good on the sweep and the reverse, isn't she? She's getting out all the tricks in this innings.
As around the wicket comes Davies again. All that's up in the air from Griffith. Will it bounce safe? It will be. And they all come through for the single. She skied that one, and luckily for Cordelia Griffith and Essex, it drops well short of the fielder running in from the long on boundary.
When it's your day, it's your day.
Yep, they're both on 41. Essex 110 for 1. As Davies is coming into McLeod. That's a wide ball, which is left well alone by McLeod. So another extra added to the total.
Oh, I don't want to put the mockers on them, but Essex
Whoa.
is strolling home.
James, please. As Davies is in, and that is a sweep shot from McLeod. It will again drop safe. It was up in the air for a long time. They'll just take the single. They're taking risks here, are the Essex batters. They have got the wickets to play with, but these two are going well.
On a Nelson as well there. Got away with that, but they don't need to take any risks at all. Run rate's 5 and over, and the field's completely spread.
Davies is in to Griffith, and she has cut that one square of the wicket. It's racing along to the boundary for Cordelia Griffith. She moves on to 45. Essex well on their way now, 116 for 1.
She's absolutely flying. She's just punishing everything wide. Even when it's pitched up, she's getting the sweeps out, the reverse sweeps out. It's almost nowhere you can bowl to her at the moment. She's taking everything on.
In comes Davies, full of delivery, which is dug out by Griffiths to long on for a single on that occasion. 117 for 1. She moves on to 46.
Just look at that required run rate, 4.72. They started off at needing 8 and a bit.
And that one is just punched back over the bowler's head by McLeod. It wasn't the most convincing of shots, but it dribbles away for a single. End of the over, 118 for 1 at the halfway stage, needing 47 now to win. Not bad.
No, not bad at all. It's been a joy to watch. And the Essex crowd, there's quite a good number of spectators in now who've come down early on this Friday afternoon. They've been handsomely rewarded. And well, Victoria, I think if we'd said one of these teams came second bottom last season and one finished runners up, you wouldn't have guessed that Essex finished second bottom, would you?
No, it has been good to watch, and a reminder that there is another double header with Essex women and men in action at Chelmsford. That's next Sunday when the women take on Lancashire, and the men are then in action against Derbyshire, which will be interesting to see those two sides up against each other. And there is another double header away from home, which is the next match for both the men and the women, which is at Hampshire on Tuesday. Nick Gledhill will be there for BBC Essex. It's Victoria, Polly and James Patient with you at the moment.
And Mary Taylor is back into the attack from the Graham Gooch, and that's a slower ball. Really floated that out the back of the hand, did Taylor, and McLeod did well to just wait for that and work it out towards deep square. Comes through for a single, so Warwickshire now turning to the variation. They've got to do something, need a couple of quick wickets here and hope they can trigger a collapse. Because the equation at the moment is 46 runs to win from 59 balls. Essex have 9 batters in the shed. Taylor again in to Griffith. Griffith goes downtown as she picked out the fielder. Oh, running in off the rope was long on, and she put in a valiant dive to try and get there, and it's bounced just in front of her and then just trickles away to the boundary rope, and that will be 50 for Cordelia Griffith. First game of the blast, and she's started perfectly. She's been aggressive from the get-go, and she's going to look to steer Essex home now.
Yeah, she's done it in 28 balls. It was Alexa Stonehouse out on the boundary, just misjudging it, trying to run in and take the catch. It bounces underneath her.
Taylor again, another slower ball. Griffith just drives that to long off and is going to settle for a single. I mean, again, it was quite a risky shot really from an Essex batter, but they've ridden their luck, and it's a good effect so far. And you can just maybe hear on the effects mics the Warwickshire fielders just trying to gee each other up, because they really need a breakthrough and they need it fast. And Mary Taylor has the ball in her hand now, bowling to Lizzie McLeod, another slowie, and that is swept behind McLeod, and that's misfielded at square leg, and they're going to come through for another 2. So Warwickshire have been sloppy in the field. McLeod was dropped on 21, and she's hanging on in there, 46 from 28 balls.
I have to say that's one of the biggest differences that we've seen between these two sides. Essex were sharp in the field. There wasn't too many that were misfielded, and not too many I can think of dropped. They were sharp.
And extras as well, of course, is Taylor bowls, and that strikes McLeod on the pad, but I think that's going down the leg side. It struck her on the full. But yeah, just watching the replay, that was going down. They scamper through for a quick single, and of course, Warwickshire, yeah, when you make a couple of mistakes, when you're defending a target and the batters make you pay, well, nerves sort of creep in. I think that's what we've seen. Getting a bit anxious, the visitors. Here comes Mary Taylor again. Last ball of the over to Griffith. That's a full toss, and that is absolutely hammered by Cordelia Griffith. That's out of here, and that is the first 6 of the afternoon. Well, she only hit 1-6 in the blast last season, and she's done it in her first innings in 2026. And that gets a rapture of applause from the Chelmsford crowd. It's huge. Full toss down leg side. Smoked into the stands. What a shot.
Is it really T20 cricket until you've had one that goes completely out the ground?
Especially at Chelmsford. I remember the time David Lloyd Bumbles here jumping into one of the garden over there by the Graham Gooch end, fetching a ball out the trees. It's the crowd's right on top of you, isn't it? And you've got those flats, and I mean, if you own one of them, you've got best view in the house, really. But I'm sure there's been some damage to the adjacent properties over the years.
Superb shot from Cordelia Griffith. Just 32 now to win.
McLeod be looking to join her with a half century of her own, just 4 runs away.
Phoebe Brett returns to the attack. She has the only wicket to go down in this Essex innings. She comes round the wicket to McLeod, who was looking to turn that one down the leg side, but it's through to Wraith for no run. That was the captain, Grace Scrivens, who was caught for 18 after a racing start for McLeod and Scrivens. That one's played back to the bowler by McLeod. Positive start to the over from Brett. Essex 133 for 1. A couple of hops as she comes in with the spin. That's a wide ball. Get the extras up just to see what we're looking at.
Essex can afford a few dot balls. The one thing they don't want to do is panic if there are a couple of deliveries without a run. In such a good position now.
In comes Brett. Charging down the wicket was Lizzie McLeod, and struck her on the leg. They came through for the single as the throw came in. They make it home. Again, it wasn't the most convincing from the two, but it's another run added to the score for Essex, 135 for 1. McLeod moves on to 57 at the non-strikers end. Now Griffith on 47, and Griffith on 57, who's facing as Brett is in. A couple of shuffles forward from Cordelia Griffith, just driving square of the wicket, but it's well fielded in the ring. No run.
Thought she'd run past that one, Cordelia Griffith, but she just snapped her wrist through the ball at the last moment. Nearly found the gap.
In from the Sir Alistair Cook end on the back foot, punching that one through the offside is Cordelia Griffith, away for 4 runs. Lovely shot, just using the hands to guide that one. 139 for 1.
Warwickshire don't have a fielder out there on the offside, so anything that beats the infield is going to race away to the boundary, and it seems like a fairly odd decision not to have anyone out there, because now Essex are really within touching distance of the finish line.
In comes Brett to Griffith, who again takes a couple of shuffles forward. She's hit that hard, and she evades the fielder in the deep, coming round from long off. Another boundary for Cordelia Griffith, who is making light work of this run chase for Essex, 143 for 1.
Well, it's an absolute masterclass from Essex's number 3 when she came in when the skipper had just been caught long on, and you thought she might be a bit nervous or at least take her time to get in, but she didn't. She put the Warwickshire bowlers to the pump from the get-go, and well, her foot's been on the accelerator the whole time. She's 65 off 33, so striking it just under 200, which is really remarkable. Listen, McLeod's not doing too badly at the other end, 47 off 32. Essex need 22 from 48 balls. And this is certainly going to help the net run rate. As Nat Wraith is just, she stood up to the stumps and she's just making a few adjustments. She's bringing long on slightly wider as Lizzie McLeod faces up to Chloe Brewer into the attack. Right arm medium pacer, that's slapped through the covers, and I think that's going to race away to the boundary. It is. There's a dive out there on the fence, but it can't be stopped. It's hit with such force from Lizzie McLeod, and that'll be her half century. Yep, she moves on to 51. Really nicely played. She was dropped on 21, but she's punished Abby Freeborn for that missed opportunity. And another ovation from the home crowd here at Chelmsford. Essex need just 18 runs to win. Here's Brewer again to McLeod. McLeod drives again. Oh, and that's straight at the fielder, and I think that's dropped again. It is. Fielder at short cover, diving forward, but hit with no real force. That should have been taken. And Lizzie McLeod is dropped for the second time in her innings. And that just adds more frustration for this Warwickshire side. Haven't found it easy out there. Here's Brewer again, and that is slapped through cow corner. Is that going to race away? It is. Try and stop Lizzie McLeod now. She's on a roll here. Both these batters are. McLeod's up to 55. Essex past 150, 151 for 1.
Yeah, she perfectly picked out the gap there between the two fielders as she hit that one away. And Essex not far away now from a first win of the T20 Blast season after a winning start.
And a real statement win this would be. Surely they'll get over the line now. That's short, and outside off stump, and that's pushed up to long off, who has to race round to her left. They're going to hurry back for 2, and it's good running. Not gathered cleanly by Chloe Brewer. 153 for 1. Do you think Warwickshire could have done anything differently, Victoria? Maybe haven't got their fielding placements quite right, or have Essex maybe just ridden their luck?
I think Essex have probably ridden their luck a little bit at times, but I think probably when we've seen the fielding that we have from Warwickshire, you can maybe afford to a bit more.
That's short, and that's just worked through mid-wicket, and they're going to pick up a single, so McLeod gets the non-strikers end.
I think probably
not out.
As well from the Warwickshire point of view, yes, Abby Freeborn made 86 with the bat, but the closest score after that was Georgia Redmayne on 36, and everyone else, bar 10 from Millie Taylor, was single figures. There was no real support there. Essex were able to take wickets and prevent any partnership for Freeborn.
Here's Griffith, who drives to point. The fielder just in front of point, and that's no run.
But yeah, really good batting from Essex. Take nothing away from that. I think Warwickshire will probably come away from this one thinking they could have fielded better, probably at times bowled better with the extras.
Well, as I say, it's all about momentum in this T20 Blast competition, and when you go on a losing run, it can be really hard to turn things around. I mean, we saw that with the Essex men last season, and again with the women who came second bottom. But a win from your first game just sets you up perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah, they'll be able to take a lot from that to a tough trip to Hampshire on Tuesday. Millie Taylor bowling, full delivery on the toes of McLeod, which has turned into the leg side. They take the single, so it's 10 to win now for Essex.
Both these batters will just want to be here, not out at the end. Help you average out when you can.
And they deserve to be as well for the way they've marshalled this Essex innings. Don't forget we've got commentary of Essex against Sussex coming up for you from 7 as Taylor is in. Again, another fuller delivery which Cordelia Griffiths hits into the mid-wicket region, and she's scampering back for 2, and they will get their good running by the Essex pair to take it down to 8 needed to win.
Having a chat with Danny Warren at half-time, I think we both agreed this is going to be a really tight game, but it hasn't turned out like that at all.
I think Danny was disappointed with the way they let Warwickshire get to 164, so wherever she's watching from now, she'll be delighted as Taylor is in over the wicket to Griffiths, who takes a shuffle forward and hits that one into the leg side. They decide to come back for the 2. Will they get there? Yes, they will. Lizzie McLeod is run out as they come back for the second run there. And disappointing for Lizzie McLeod, who's made 59 from 38 balls. She's been key to this Essex run chase, but they lose their second wicket, which really shouldn't make too much change to the score and the result of this game. 157 for 2. 9 fours, I think was just said over the loudspeaker.
It was a direct hit, really good piece of fielding, but I think even if it hadn't been a direct hit, she still would have been run out. There was really no need to try and come back for that second run. Essex absolutely cruising here, and Lisa McLeod, well, she played sublimely well, but she will be disappointed not to be there at the end. She goes for 59, but Essex are still absolutely cruising here. It would be the collapses of all collapses if they didn't get over the line from here.
Well, it brings their leading run scorer in the One Day Cup this season to the crease, Jodie Grucock.
Yeah,
Having the back gauge
404
checked.
runs.
See that a lot so far in this game. It's pretty standard from the umpires now, isn't it?
Is it Feroz Kushi and Backgate?
Oh. As Taylor is in, gives that one a bit of air. The bails are off, and is that a wicket?
She's
Yes,
out.
it is. Well, that's a rather understated end to Griffith's innings. It comes to an end at 68. It's 2 in 2 balls for Millie Taylor. Essex lose a third wicket, needing just 7 to win, 158 for 3.
Well, how are you feeling, Warwickshire fans? Have your team got a chance? Surely not, but Cordelia Griffith will be very disappointed with that. It was really tossed up from Taylor, and it sort of landed at Yorker length, and Cordelia Griffith, well, she tried to dig it out. I think it's just rolled onto her stump, so she's done so. And Griffith receives a much-deserved round of applause, a standing ovation from the Chelmsford crowd. Excellent innings from Essex's number 3.
Well, it will be up to Jodie Grucock and now Jo Gardner to just finish things off for Essex, having lost those quick wickets. But for Millie Taylor, she'll be looking to add a second wicket after the run out in the previous ball.
Well, they're on a team hat-trick. And Eva Grove's on a hat-trick.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we call it, yeah. Eva Grove's on her own hat-trick in Essex's bowling innings.
And Taylor is into Gardner, who was just looking to defend that one. There's obviously a bit of movement out there for Taylor at the moment, which has taken the Essex batters by surprise.
I wonder if Jo Gardner looks to finish this in style.
She likes a big hit, does Jo
She
Gardner?
does.
In comes Taylor. It's a shuffle forward back over the bowler's head from Gardner. She thinks about the second. They're going to go for it. It is fielded at long on, as they come back for those 2. So 5 now needed for Essex, who are 160 for 3 after a couple of quick wickets.
Jo Gardner, her heart would have been in her mouth for a moment there. She skipped down the track and didn't get anywhere near the pitch of the ball, and she just chipped it straight into the air, but luckily the field was spread and it landed safely, so she survives and she'll be hoping to be there at the end. Jodie Grucock yet to face a ball. Was open the batting when she was with England, which I was personally quite surprised to see.
Yeah.
Didn't have much success, so 2 innings, high score of 10, but not a natural position. And I mean, what an occasion, getting sent out to open for your country.
You're not going to say no, are you, if they say,
No,
look,
of course not.
You open. That's your pathway in. It's another string to the bow as well, isn't it, to be able to do that. And I'm sure if she gets another opportunity, the runs will come.
And Essex will be selfishly glad to have her back. No doubt she's such an important player for the team. She's got 404 runs already in the One Day Cup, averaging 81. Third highest in the whole competition. She averaged 37 in the Blast last season. She's not going to have the chance to get anywhere near that. With her team only needing 5 runs to win now is Pavely, and that's chucked down the leg side. That's a wide. Rafe dives to stop it, running away for 4, and they hurry through for an extra run. So now need just 3 runs to win. Warwickshire have handed Essex far too many freebies, and they haven't been tight enough in the field. And Essex, well, they're going to get home with about 6 overs to spare, which is fantastic for the home team. It's Pavely again, just waiting for Jo Gardner to set herself. A very high back lift. And Pavely still tinkering with her field. Seems odd when you need 3 from defending 3 from 36, but she fires it in, and that's a dot ball. Just played defensively into the offside by Jo Gardner. .162 for 3. That's given a bit more flight, and that's a glorious sweep shot, and that is going to be that for Essex. They win their first match of this year's Vitality Blast campaign. Jo Gardner it is with the winning runs. A lovely sweep round the corner off the bowling of cherished Pavely, and they've got home Essex with 5.4 overs to spare. I think at half time, if you'd have said that Essex are going to stroll home this comfortably, not many people would have believed you. They came second last in the competition last season, but they're off to a flyer, and particular shout outs have to go to Cordelia Griffith and Lissy McLeod, who both made excellent half centuries. And Stephen Parry, Essex's new head coach, will be absolutely delighted with that, as the 2 teams just come together to shake hands. Essex off to a flyer. Victoria, Polly.
Yeah, just a couple of the headlines then from the innings. Warwickshire making 164 with the early wicket of Meg Austin for Essex, and then it was Abby Freeborn who top scored, not out, 86, supported by Georgia Redmayne, who made 36. But other than that, just small contributions from the Warwickshire side. When it came to the wickets for Essex, there were 2 for Eva Gray, 2 for Jodie Grucock, and then 1 apiece for Sophie Monroe and Sophia Smell. An excellent caught and bowled for her. Essex innings getting off to a flyer from Grace Scrivens and Lissy McLeod in the power play. Scrivens was caught for 18 before McLeod and Cordelia Griffith went on to an important partnership. McLeod making 59 and Griffith making 68. A couple of quick wickets, left it to Jodie Grucock, who was not out naught, and Jo Gardner 6 not out to finish the job. When it came to the wickets for Warwickshire, there was 1 for Phoebe Brett and then the 1 for Millie Taylor as well. So Essex win by 7 wickets, get off to a winning start in the T20 campaign. We'll bring you some reaction to this one, BBC Essex Sport clips to find that, and we'll be back a bit later on the BBC Sport website and app and on the stream to bring you commentary of Essex men taking on Sussex here at Chelmsford. Hope you can join us then.